when there are no gaps, they will like to create them. So for a team like DarkZero, they need to take a page in the book of what FaZe did, which was getting close to each other, not having enough big gaps, and making sure that there's a trade potential every time you face a Geekay player lurking around, especially on attack here.
Getting rid of the Habana here, going to hurt the IT breach. You see a lot of teams like to Habana where the mirror is to counteract not getting C forward. Getting rid of that, let's see if they get rid of the mirror off of that, or they go with the Bandit here. Get rid of the Bandit right now, get rid of the Thermite too. You're going to see Ace coming out for the breach. You're going to have to carefully impact trick.
Yeah, look at that. They bring the Mira, or they bring the Azami. Izami will, I'm sure, have the impact. They will place the Mira on that hard bridge. It will be all the impact trick here.
They're probably going to Thatcher too for the C4 to counter it. Look for that.
Well, of course, what we needed to do in a battle of North America and Europe is bring in some representatives from Denmark and Australia. That's why we got Dev and Pengu on the cast here. Gentlemen, what do we think heading into this one to kick off our Grand Finals day?
That's a great question, Rain Day. What do we have in for us in a third place matchup when we thought we were about to enter the era of North America? Now it really just comes down to DarkZero to try and salvage a bit of pride. We have two Brazilian teams in the final, and now we have a classic NA versus EU matchup.
You say salvage pride for NA. What about EU getting back some of their own pride, James? Right? EU's been in the gutter for way too long now, and Geekay, not the team of thought that would be left standing here at the very end, representing Europe.
No, not at all. I mean, Team Secret from Europe.
Falcons.
Team Falcons. They were both top 3 at the Six Invitational.
We have Fnatic. They were there.
Fnatic appeared. Like, how is it that it's Geekay, the last ones standing for Europe, but they can still salvage a third place finish here at the event? Now, for Geekay, for the Esports Club, they played with 3 main rosters throughout their history in Rainbow Six, first in the MENA region, and then in Europe, and then recently rebooting their entire roster after Six Invitational this year. They have never made it to top 4 before, Pengu. This is a huge moment for them.
That's why I think this third place match is actually going to not matter more than usual, because it always matters, but I think the teams are going to take it just a little bit more serious because they want to get that third spot. Whether it's for the money, the fame, the glory of winning, proving to Orc that this was the right decision for the roster. Iconic was right. Thatcher brought out, denied any sort of C4 toss their way on the breach, but it's going to be impact grenades instead there from J9O. And this has just been the classic at this event so far. All about the mirror window on the breach, playing around with the hot destruction, the impacts, the C4, and so much of the round can be determined early on, because if you're successful disrupting that first step of the attackers, it's going to make the entire round from the afterwards so much more challenging.
That's right, that hard breach ability becomes so much of the battle here, especially the way DZ like to play with those bans. Genano continuing to try and hold on to rafters for as long as possible, but he can always peel back that next layer. He might even be able to reinforce top rafters if he uses that Keeper barrier to cover him. However, we do hear some breaching going down from the Selmas. He will not get a chance to reinforce this wall of rafters as Upor has made his way inside. Geekay inch their way closer to the bomb side.
Yeah, looking pretty good. They got IT, they got Catwalk. That's 2 of the 3 areas of pressure that they need. But I feel like often you want that third spot. It could be a player below, for example, Sophia, but that's not going to be the case right now. So it should be a late round flank. The C4 could be good for one at least. Gets popped off, but they juke it. They walk straight past it unknowingly, despite having Thatcher with 6 more EMPs in the pocket. Not needed just yet.
Unlucky timing there for Foltz, but now he gets out the shotgun, tries to continue fighting him with the verticality, but now he's receiving some fire himself. He'll need to get out of dodge. He'll need to rotate now. The DarkZero, while he's downstairs below, he can continue to be a threat to deny the plan. As we see another facet of this attack come into action here from Ars, coming in through Con. Upor and Grubby together get active as NJR is forced back to that bomb site. Down, but not out as of yet. All up to Foltz. The man who wanted to pose for plant denial now has a 1v4. Grubby with the pistol to finish off the 2 final kills. Geekay swimming into the first round on Nighthaven Labs.
Such great strategic understanding there from Geekay, though. Again, there's a young early roster here for the organization, but in the server, they understand the pressure points, when to push together, and also where their attack should be mounted from. It starts off on the breach, it's slow and steady, but they get the wall open up. And then very important detail, they have can opener, that second layer of hot destruction on York, who's playing the Sophia, and he walked into Coward Raptors right here, opened up the left-hand side wall. That applies so much pressure on the side itself, and it forces both J9O and Kino deep into the Aqua hallway, and that gives Geekay a way into the bomb site to get the first couple of kills and to start prodding and prying with those DMR angles.
Attacking is where it's at for Geekay here. DZ chose this map pick, which means that Geekay wanted to start on this attacking side. Now, DZ, in most of the games that you and I have casted, Pengu, they've actually been much more of a defensive-favored team.
Yes, they have.
Their attacks can be strong, but their defense is where they really shine, especially when it comes to denying rushes, denying plant denial. We saw that a lot in their previous matches in the series that we played here on the main stage here, whether it's against Weibo or against Furia.
Yeah.
Of course, eventually DarkZero did fall to Furia yesterday. Funnily enough, GK, on the flip side, the only team at this tournament who has actually managed to defeat Furia, our grand finalist, and that was all the way back in the group stage. It was a convincing 7-4 on Lair and a 7-4 on this same very map of Labs.
Shipper just, I don't know, supportive work there, adjusting Ask microphone without asking for permission, it looked like. He's like, what are you doing? It's my microphone. Now, something that I guess isn't talked about very often, small little insight if you're a player, right? The way that you handle your TeamSpeak or audio setup at LAN events is so different from team to team. So you might be thinking, can you hear the crowd at a LAN event? Usually no. You got your in-ears, you got the soundproof headset with white noise being spammed in the background. However, when your microphone is picking up your own voice, the background of the crowd kind of bleeds into it. And not in the sense that you can tell what they're saying, it's just a lot of noise in your ear.
Yeah.
So some pro teams, they will have push to talk, where you gotta hold on a button and somehow spawn in a sixth finger to hit that key to then speak to your teammates. Some, they have toggle mute, so you will click a button, now your microphone is muted, you'll click again, now it's unmuted. That's what I would do because I can't hold down a button, I have 6 fingers.
Did you actually do that, or did you...
There were
use
some
voice
events
to
where it
text?
was either the headset or the speaker setup was just very sensitive, and if we didn't do it, we couldn't hear the game sound.
Yeah, wow.
Because the issue is, you gotta balance the in-game audio to hear the footsteps, the C4s, etc., the plant sounds, but also balance it with the TeamSpeak, hearing the teammates going for the callouts, right? And you have different players balancing it differently. But the other option is that some people will just play open microphones and you cannot hear a damn thing. Or they play open microphone with such a high threshold on the gate that you gotta scream for the mic to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I've only played in one team. I played in Penta. That became G2. I'm honestly so curious what like the average outcome is. Like, what do most pro teams go for? Because no one discusses this. I never hear people talk about
Push to
it.
talk, toggle talk,
Yeah.
or voice activity where it detects you, and
Yeah.
then you have to have, as you say, that threshold. And if the threshold is too low, then you're going to hear all of the crowd noise all the time.
Exactly.
If it's too high, then you're
Can't
really going to
hear
have
it
to
at all.
scream to make your call-outs. Yeah, interesting. I do wonder. I would love to talk to some of these teams. Of course, a lot of the players are quite the opposite to you. A lot of the players in the server right now have played on various different teams. I mean, very long careers. Yoga, for example, his career has been over 8 years long, similar kind of duration for Faults. A lot of the players, I mean, everyone on DarkZero has been playing professionally for 5+ years, some way or another, similar for GK. We've actually got a lot of ex-teammates on these two teams. 3 of the players in the server right now actually played for that old Oxygen roster. OXG, of course, Kino, Newers, and Yoga. We got to see a little bit of that, the sass on the 1v1 on stage when Kino refused to shake Yoga's hand. All fun and games for these players that have quite a history together.
5 seconds left.
How crazy is this though? Yoga has actually played at 11 S-tier final events on North American teams before this one where he's playing for a European.
Yeah, I mean, OXG, they used to make a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, for example, a couple of years ago, 6 Invitational 2025 in Boston, Newers and Yoga were on the same team. They made top 8 with OXG after coming through the LCQ, by the way. They knocked out G2, Shopify Rebellion, and they beat SSG, which was Faults, Jane, and Callout's team at the time.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Second round, second time the mirror went on IT wall is successfully impact denied. This is why you leave the ace open. It's the operator that you can easily impact trick against. With the Sky Repellers, you can just do 2 at a time or do a bunch at a time and open up the whole wall. With the ace Selma, you're gonna pop the first layer, then you can impact through it and deny the second layer. That means you only have peek hole upstairs, not like an entry path forward for late round usage. And the less ways you have in the building as an attacker, well, the less pressure points you have to enable yourself, and the less areas DZ have to be worried about. The third Selma went out. That one was not impact trick there from J9O. So IT now is fully under pressure by the attackers.
Nice. So efficient here from Geekay. They are such a well-oiled machine. So much experience on this roster from different teams. I mean, Ask and Yog with their own history. Even Grubby now is becoming a bit of an experienced player. He's played at a number of international finals now. Sarks and Upor starting to come into form as JNO spots out Yog on the Monty, trying to make his way up the rafters stairs. Really poising a bit of a threat. Can't afford to look away from the Monty for too long as Yog will just go for the ADS fight.
Swinging with the first bit of action. C4 goes out, takes down Yog, who's actually playing the Monty. Injured as well, trading back.
Very nice here from DZ. However, they do lose a player. Will they lose another? No! Kino with the quick drop shot onto Upor. Big kill. The Monty down, the Grim has been taken care of. DZ maintain control of the top floor. 3 players still upstairs, 1 in IT as well. And all the progress GK thought they had made has been for nothing.
Kino really just said, fine, I'll do it all myself. C4, shotgun kill, finds the 2 openings. Now just kind of play the corners to play back the layers. But I think there's a read here from Grubby on the bridge. Doesn't matter if Foles is better, stands up. Cleans Grubby's head right off. Now they got the virtual bomb site. Oh, Kino finds another. Foles finds the final player in Ask, who's playing downstairs, jumping in the bomb site window. An easy round there from DC.
Funny though, because the very start of the round looked like a perfect dry run from GK. They breached open the wall, they took some map control, they opened up the vert. But as soon as they lost that skirmish on the top floor, it was over.
It's so rare that Monty will die to C4. Taking about 75–80% of your health with a perfectly landed C4, that's very common. But outright dying to it, unless it did a double C4 toss, because Foles also lost C4 earlier. I'm not entirely certain, but I didn't catch it if they did. Either way, perfect counterplay. Understand that, hey, if we just deal with the Monty, that's pretty much the entire push that we stopped.
Yeah. That was a good plan from GK, but DZ, they're good on their defense. Like we said, 1-1 on their map pick, and this classic DZ. They just love leaning into specific operators for as long as they possibly can to hope that it gets baited out and banned. And in this case, at the moment, it's been False on that mirror. He's often playing these power ops on defense that then tries to force out that tertiary ban. Yeah. We saw a lot of clash.
I was going to say, you know he's gonna what he's going to play when you bend the mirror? He's going to play the clash.
Yeah. And he's going to be really good with it as well. He's a scary force to be reckoned with, especially if you want to play shields. And GK haven't been relying too much on the shields. Obviously, they played Monty last round, but they've got all the 3 main shields plus Fuse available should they want it.
I think the beauty of the way that DC and False they play the clash is that it doesn't feel like they do it as a shield countermeasure. They do it to enable a style of their own. So it's not that they are dependent on GK to play into it or not. It's about, oh, well, we have the clash. We can play the kitchen bomb side here on Night Human Labs. We can play a 4th option to go for more counters or more specific niche strats in the server. And one thing that they've been doing twice now as well is the pulse. Using the verticality against GK, because when GK has been on the attacking side so far, they like to say, we're going to attack IT, we're going to attack Catwalk, and they send 2, 3, 4 attackers. The more people that come together, the higher the chance for a C4 to find a kill, which arguably probably should have happened in the very first round, but Carver just kind of sidestepped it last second.
Wow, what an angle.
This time it's NDR's turn on the pulse.
That's a really cheeky angle from JNO. He's standing behind one of those cabinets in IT with a one-way angle over the cabinet and then through the mirror window. He can't be contested. Onto that angle, let's manage to do a little bit of damage onto Yog, who's now taking a little bit of damage from his own Boogie drone, I believe, as he's made his way into kitchen. Deathmark fails as Mutejam is helping DZ out, avoid detection from the Deimos as the Roamers continue peeling on back. Still 2 on the ground floor and 1 Faults all the way upstairs in servers. But it seems to be a push onto the bomb site. GK have realized that this roam from DZ is extensive enough that it leaves the bomb site vulnerable.
Nice, News wants to kill though. Sees so much pressure upstairs in the wrong game, but News is better. Finds 2, then finally trade it back. But they know this bomb site is relatively weak.
Yeah, indeed they do. And Faults is a 3 armor, 1 speed operator all the way up in servers. He must have some kind of vert angle to try and help out as the push comes into the bomb site, but NJR from behind will take down Ask. 2 versus 4 for GK, Sarks and Yog try and get active. Try and make their presence known, but they will have to recollect that diffuser before too long as well. SMG-12 in close range. Kino, he's usually trusted with that shotgun. Yog does find NJR. Maybe this is winnable. They've got that defuse. They've got the pick. A retake could happen here from DZ. As the phone is ringing on out, Sarks will go down. The verticality works out in favor of DZ. And Yog is forced to go into the 1v1. Bit of damage on Aquino, not enough as of yet. Worried about the flank from behind. Pistol comes out, 1v2. 30 seconds, still got to get that defuse. And both of his opponents are upstairs. Faults so patient the whole game. He was roaming upstairs. Finally finds the last kill for DZ from above.
Very well done. Only one thing missing there from the attack inside. No hop breaching whatsoever. So single breach was closed off, enabling Kim to play inside of that small box. And the double wall leading to the bomb site, same story. It wasn't open. That means that Geekay have so few ways in throughout the bomb site. And the vert that they did above was used against them because they lost the roam battle. It's been an awkward position. Arbiter Band's expecting the Mira. On the flip side, maybe a Solid Snake, maybe a Monty. It's going to be the Monty and the Mira, yeah. I was thinking you do Solid Snake for roam clear if you're fearing that kind of gap-finding playstyle, or you take away the Monty because now again the Clash gets a higher value. If they do play the shields, it'll be Fuse, Blitz, or Blackbeard, all of which cannot exist against the Clash. And if they were to ban the Clash and not the Mirror, you just keep doing the Mirror stuff.
Yeah.
So this is again DC forcing their enemy into a lose-lose position.
Yeah, it's classic DZ. They have so many good tools on their defensive side. They know how to flip between them. They have a very deep strat book. A lot of good shots, though, from the GK players. DZ, though, those setups, too complicated. You can't cheese them. But you're right, that Solid Snake not getting banned does mean that there's more likely going to be opportunities for GK to quickly find space for free and get in that building, get in the bomb site like they did last round. The problem is, Solid Snake's weakness is actually Vert, because his gadget only tells you what's happening on the current floor that you're standing on.
They should really buff that, shouldn't they? Like, why would it only track the floor that you're on? What if you could go up a floor, down a floor as well?
I feel like Solid Snake is a pretty buff guy, right? Like, he should be able to hold 2 F2s at once. Oh! And they have the same recoil, right? He's got 1 in each hand. So it does double damage. What do you think?
I mean, if you have 2 weapons, right? I would argue that the recoil counteracts each other.
That's
because
right.
you get even
one upside down on top of the other one.
Yeah,
Zero
exactly.
recoil.
They go into each other.
Genius.
We all know that when you wear a backpack on one shoulder, it's awful. But if you have 2 backpacks, 1 on each shoulder, it equalizes the weight distribution.
Genius.
Therefore, it's easy as.
Genius. Love it. It's the kind of 300 IQ strats that you can only get when you've won 2 championships and been washed up for the last 6 years.
I was gonna make a point, actually. Almost every single player in this lobby has had a longer playing career than myself. Counting both Tier 2 and into Tier 1, because Upor might be new to the Tier 1 competition, but been in Tier 2, Tier 3 for years.
Yeah, he has. Yog, one of, like I said before, the longest running players remaining from North America, no longer in North America, here in Paris, playing for a European squad. He finds the first kill. J90 goes down. That regenerative utility of the Azami. A good one to take down early, reduce the value the defense can gain from it. But DZ are no strangers to fighting from a numbers deficit on the defense.
All a matter of how DC can restabilize. It is going to be that top floor bomb side, so in terms of options, kind of just going to go for a kill somewhere. Could be Kino forcing a shotgun flank inside of E-Box. Could be Newers going for a flank, playing by meeting. They've actually misdroned him so far. They double back. But I think still a small gap being found there. Doesn't matter. Newers shots the drone, falls on back. NGR elsewhere did find a kill, so back to even ground, meaning that now Newers has to value his life a lot more and really escape back to side, which he will do successfully.
He does indeed. Good shot though from Yog.
He's down Faults.
Another big one with the Commando. 4v2 now with Faults still on the floor and separated. He is dead meat. As soon as GK realized they found that pick, it should be over. Newers going for a flank. He is shut down. Good patience now from the European squad as NJR has it all to do. I think I've seen this before. I swear I saw this just yesterday. Surely not. Arse just needs to go for a plan. Don't pull the herds on me right now. NJR continuing to jiggle peak. GK no, I believe that this is a 2v1. In fact, it's now confirmed. Now Yog goes down. It's Arse that has to clutch, and he will, thankfully so. NJR, oh so close. But a second round is found for GK.
Dude, NGR, disgusting. Getting that lean tag in there. That could be Newers teaching me trigger too, I think, because that looked like a Newers play. And I will say, watching DC for as long as they've been around, I think NGR having to be on Thermite for so many years and Harpoon seeing supportive roles, I've always been like, what is this guy doing playing supportive characters? Because there's been so many times, like going back to Charlotte Major even, the DC Charlotte's Grand Final, when MJ was forced to become an entry and like in a round gone bad for DC, this guy is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And now on DC, with a little bit more freedom in the playstyle, especially on defense, he's really coming into his own now.
Yeah.
Seeking those moments, seeking those plays.
For sure. And look, NJR, what a long career he's had. But funnily enough, the entirety of his Tier 1 career has been with DarkZero. 5.5 years. In that time, he's won 2 majors.
Yep.
With 2 completely different rosters. Charlotte way back in the day with the Canadian DZ, and nowadays with Fultz's DZ as well. A long career, especially considering he is only 23 years old. 23 years of age, and he spent his entire adult life playing for DZ.
That's impressive. Not many players end up in just one spot for so long. I mean, Mint was also a one player back in the day that kind of stuck around one team that became another team, and then, you know, he retired.
Hey, don't forget about Mint's esteemed coaching career with Unwanted, top performing team at Boston, SI.
I suppose.
Got to give my boy Mint some credit. I still have an old Flipside charm on my,
I was gonna say same.
my collection.
It's in there. One of the OGs of the scene, one of the OG Shield players as well from NA.
Yeah, you guys used to steal their strats and do them better as well. Back when I was a Flipside fan, I had to become a Penta fan because on the OG Clubhouse CCTV where no one played, they were the only team that went to it, and then you stole their strat and did it better.
And you're like, these guys are the better Flipside players.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I have to be a European fan too now.
I love how much the OGs have done for the scene. I mean, we make the joke that, you know, this player walks that these players could run sort of thing, right? And it's really true.
Sure.
And speaking of NGR, learning from Troy, the way he started his career, and now teaching the young generation probably that he's going to have around him later in his career, same things as well.
Totally.
It's beautiful.
A lot of young players, though, on DZ. Well, young depends on your perspective, right? 23 is the youngest age player for a DZ player, and most of them have had already very long careers in Tier 1 because they were those gunners picked up at 18 years old. Every single one of these players falls into that category, and now they have the experience to be major champions. And so they have done so a couple of months ago. Now they need to fight here. 2-2 is the score as an aggressive run out from Fultz does not pay dividends. Good trade, however. Geekay restabilize. Sarks manages his pick on IT. Kino wants to lash out again. As DZ fall back again, they're happy to give up top floor control to GK.
There's a good two-fanged attack there. The catwalk window with the IT breach working well together. But time has been taken away here from GK, and they still have attack outside the building. They haven't progressed close enough to the bomb site itself just yet. I mean, if they want to go for it, just like jumping in the side window, they're free to, but super risky. JR's covering one side window, swings it actually, and gets shot down. That right there loses them a bit of control by that B bomb site, forcing Kino for a rotate to retake that position as best as he can.
GK is so patient. I love that from them. They're so quick at the start of the round with their setups. They've dry run 100 times, but when they're in the advantage, they don't overcomplicate things. It's a 4v2 right now, 30 seconds remain, but this bomb site is very hard to plant safely in because you can be denied vertically from above or below or flanked on the bomb site. Both players on the site here for DZ. GK, though, be careful. Don't expose yourself one by one. Why are they exposing themselves one by one? Sarks makes it a 1v2 now. He has to get that defuse back again. Thankfully, Grubby doesn't let Kino get away with a clutch, and GK will take the lead.
Again, way too close for comfort. Newer is doing such a great job fighting back and isolating those kills, but I will also have to say this, swinging for the third, that's the adrenaline most like saying, oh, I got this, I'm gonna keep going, right? I'm fired up, and then he gets shot down. He's kind of mid-air vaulting down, not a great spot to be in. He had a crossfire with Kino, who was watching it all with him. So you can argue a little bit there, unnecessary for that final third swing.
10 seconds remaining. Attackers recover.
Good end of the round from the young guns of GK, though, Sarks in particular. A young Italian making his debut onto the main stage here at EWC. One more round left in this half, Pengu. DZ picked the map. Tell me what you told me this morning, because we've been talking about DZ a lot during this tournament. We've been saying, well, major champions, one of the tournament favorites, DZ, Wildcard, and FaZe were our three championship contenders as we saw it coming into the event, right? But you were telling me you actually think Geekay have a shot in this match today.
I do think so. I mean, DC, they haven't been... Oh, so I didn't watch every game of Salt Lake because we didn't work it as casters. I watched it passively. I was as a content creator, whichever. But looking at them, having caster games here at EWC, it does seem like they're a slightly weaker version of themselves. Sure. And FaZe have shown signs of that as well early in the tournament. I think Fury started off looking very weak and vulnerable too. And I think GK right now, having that same kind of Cinderella story as, you know, your wild card, your team secret, where they're running off just like passion, the fumes, and they're just like so excited to be here, so happy, not feeling that kind of pressure. Whereas DC, they have probably in their own minds let themselves down by playing for third place. They should be in the grand finals as the next matchup, trying to play for a trophy.
100%, but look, DZ, they've been really good. We've seen a lot of high-quality siege from them, but they were also 2 rounds from elimination to CAG in the group stage. They were 2 rounds from elimination against Weibo in their quarterfinal.
Exactly.
It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for DZ, and right now, fighting from behind on their map pick is not a good spot to be in, especially on their preferred side of defense.
They got that pocket pick, right? The 4th bomb site unlock, Clash enabled as well. Finally, in the 6th and final round and a half, it's going to be Kitchen.
It's the classic DZ. We love Kitchen.
GK have seen this probably 11 times in the last 3 matches that DC have played on this map because they do go there at a high frequency. They attack in a very unusual way, doing a full sweep from Catwalk IT in towards Pillar to then get the verticality above the bomb site. What they want to do is box DC into a corner in an unfavorable spot and then take the side control in the 5v5. The only issue is, by going for full map control, the timer is a much larger problem as there's so many areas to check, to drone, to clear, and so much map to keep control over. And there is a small gap right now. I think Kino has gone more or less unnoticed here by Top Aqua.
There is a flank watch drone, but nobody's watching it at the moment. I saw it placed by Ask early in the round.
They know.
And indeed, there's a flank watch player. You pour potatoes a little bit. Thankfully, he still withstands and finds the kill. Now he's continuing to watch up on the top floor as DZ have this roam up above with the ADSs and the keeper barriers, but bedded into movement here from NJR. Grubby moved all the way from the other side of the map to sneak up this staircase and cut off DZ. GK are reading them like a book, and now DZ must rely on some hero plays on the bomb site to win the round.
GK right now has to play for kills because Yoke is outside the building with the diffuser playing as a capital operator, but guess what? They got the full map control. They got the vert up above, Yoke in position on the window. If they can figure out where 2 or all 3 defenders are, they can use the smoke and fire and just guns together and just brute force the bomb site because they have significant numbers advantage, because Nero is so on health. Dokubikol will take him out. He has to answer it.
Yeah, you're right. He has to, and so he will. He can be spammed again shortly by Sarks, but J9O finds a critical kill. Newers will fall to Grubby into the bomb site now. Faults on the Clash, has to have an impact, but he is shut out of it. It's J9O
7 seconds.
to try and save the half for DZ, but the plan is going down from Yogg. Good damage though. How does that happen? Yogg team kills. It's now a 1v1. Yogga cannot afford to lose this. The Clash shield against J9O. Yogga has to land this shot. J9O looks for the rotate. He might be able to move around, go into the other side of the bomb site, look to try and take the advantageous position, boosted up, bit of damage, 1 HP, now for Yogg. He just needs to buy more time. J9O up and over! Yogg clutches the round for GK. 4-2 in their attacking half.
With the Clash shield as well. What an incredible way to find it. We're getting into the halftime side swap. Let's listen in.
For supply and command, we go back to defense. Keep in mind, all this guy is doing right now is he has a cam inside a Raptor. He's waiting Jack either as soon as you get aggressive towards like the Raptor door, as soon as you layer out to hop in and take that space. So if we want to play the pulse off that bulker, we can. You can look for a micro there. Like basically, they'll have one guy on the roof holding the water door, and then he plays like close off the window and looks for that hop. So if we identify there's no guy on the roof, we can call Kino to swing that, or we can just say fuck it, and then consolidate back a little bit quicker towards the globe side. That's pretty much for both supply and command. It's got to be kind of one or the other, because they're just ripping that gap on us the entire time, and Jack's by himself. So either we go with Jack, have 2 there extended, one helps for like the Raptor door tool side, the other one holds for that, or we do the pulse micro, or we just consolidate back. It's kind of one of the 3. But we can't really just do the solo extension like that. It's not panning out for us right now.
Heard. Yeah. Heard.
Okay. Heard. On the attack side, just a reminder what I talked about. First,
triple, so For basement, it's again probably going to be like the first floor explosion, and for storage, they usually like the Kina jump with the Thatcher on the side, and so kind of be Yoga prepared for that and like think about how you're going to play against
Start close window, I guess, Yoga. I'm gonna do the bandits right on the basement because they probably gonna let it open.
Let's see the bounce. I think if the bandit is open, then just play it on like skip it on the top floor, I think, and play it only like basement and if needed on the storage, because otherwise they will have like Zofia to counter it.
Yeah, one more thing. I think for top, I think we should like expect like crazy stuff. So in the early rounds,
guys, the one thing I'm gonna.
The voice of a very deep man right there from Shepard.
Yeah.
Again, the most I've heard this man speak throughout my entire career. And again, very strategical about the operator bans, the possibilities. Not saying, guys, let's not
play the bandit.
You guys can play the
bandit on the basement.
But also, let's watch the operator bans first as well, right? It's like, don't overcommit to the plan until we know it for sure. And whenever we talk about kind of like how much he measures before he commits to something, you said this last cast, it gives that old Empire vibe, because they had one strat that they perfected on the attacking side that they always just used to know exactly how to counter their enemy. So Shepard would never call something without the full intel, so the operator ban will show exactly what they're going to do in the final end.
For sure, and I really do love the way that Shepard gives so much freedom to the players of Geekay.
Yes.
Instead of saying, guys, you have to do this because I said so, he says, oh, think about this.
Yeah.
Think about this. Here's an idea. Here's an idea I had. You know, it's up to you. Bandit actually gets banned in the end of it by DZ. So I guess Shepard will not be able to be getting his teammates to play that. But
the only way that works, the only way it works when you have a coach who gives a lot of freedom, though, is when you have players take initiative, right? Shepard starts saying what he wants to share, and then Ask will go, oh, I could do the, I think, oh, Yogg, I can play the bandit on this, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but that wouldn't work if you don't have players taking that initiative.
Totally, and I did hear immediately after Shepard finished speaking, I heard a voice getting active in the comms, and I wasn't sure if that was Ask. It actually sounded a bit like an Italian accent, so I thought it might have been Sarks contributing his opinion. I couldn't quite tell. I haven't spent enough time with Ask, Sarks, and Grubby to be able to tell their accents apart and to be able to tell exactly who's speaking. But yeah, interesting to hear the way that the comms pan out in those halftime role swaps. Also notable as well, we talked a little bit about this, but for DZ, they spent the first half of their tactical, or rather the role swap,
trippy.
because they're talking about what just went wrong, right? But I did notice right at the end, before we cut over to the GK comms, Callout says, okay, that's for defense, for the attacking side, and then he starts talking about what's about to come.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like almost like a mini 1-minute debrief of what happened last half, so that if we do get to overtime, you have that back in the back of your mind. You've already, there's nothing what's the word? Like unresolved, right? You've still talked about it.
I think it's an interesting concept because obviously I never played during the halftime, like we messed this up, or this player didn't take responsibility for the mistake that he made, or I don't know what we're going to do on defense, and that's actually kind of out of the current present. So you talk through it, debrief style like you said, then you talk about for the last 60 seconds of the 2 minutes, what about our attacks? And then Callout said, just to reiterate what I said already, you know, what the prep work was going into the game.
Yeah, very much so. Funnily enough, Faults actually got to play in the third place match last year at the Esports World Cup with SSG, as did, of course, Jane I Know and Callout. And funnily enough, they lost it to Furia.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I thought they won it.
They did. No, Faults is a funny player. I mean, when you want to track the continuity of this roster, you could obviously look at NJR and the old DZ squad, but most of this DarkZero really is the spiritual successor to that old Space Station roster that Faults was the leader of, especially because Callout is still coaching. Faults himself has actually been to the last 15 events in a row, S-tier events. And that includes with DZ and Space Station before it. Most of those with Jane I Know, a lot of them with Newers. And while he was champion at the most recent one in Salt Lake City, he's been very up and down. Prior to that, I mean, top 8 at SI, and then bottom 16 at Munich, and then Esports World Cup last year, top 4, but only 4th place. Reload, first rounded, SI the year prior, top 6. It's very much up and down for that old SSG, now DZ core.
Yeah, I remember Anne asked him a question during one of the previous interviews about the longevity of his career, where he goes, oh, you know, I came to the game and I got better, I had my victory. And it was about relearning and getting back up to that level again. So he goes up, he wins, he goes quite far down, fights his way back up, gets another win, but there are so many years between them.
Well, his first ever event was with Space Station when he was a very young man. In Six Major Raleigh 2019, he got top 8 at that event. He won the next event. SI 2020 in Montreal. His second ever event at a professional Rainbow Six level, he won. He was a world champion. What did he do since then? I mean, he proceeded to do pretty much nothing for 6 years, no championships, until finally getting that second championship of his in the major in Salt Lake City. He's had an extremely long career. He's a player who was always at these international events. You would have thought that he'd have a few more trophies.
I thought there was one more, actually, but I guess not.
No.
No.
All right, SI 2020, and then a lot of top 8s. You know, like almost every single major he went to, he would make it to the main stage. There are a couple of outliers where they got grouped, like SI 21 or Copenhagen, for example. They actually got grouped by Scars. I remember that very well. Casted that game, great match. And then Reload, very bad performance. Munich was probably the worst performance we've seen from them in recent history, where they didn't even make it out of the top 16. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of potential from Fultz and from his team. We've seen that. We've seen the depth that this DZ team have, and yet they fell just prior to this match in the semi-finals to Furia, who now make it through to that grand final.
But this is also the story for most esports pro players, and even in regular sports athletes. There are so many people who has to go without a win for a long time for someone else to win, of course, obviously. And in Siege, you and I had this combo this morning for breakfast. We have had, depending on exactly how you define it, between 3 and like 5 eras, a dynasty, if you will, for teams, right? And then everyone else, they either had a singular victory or no victories.
Totally.
There are so many players who's been around for 5 to 8 years who's never won anything.
Totally.
Because we've had so many, or we've had teams just dominate for a long period of time.
Totally. I mean, we had Continuum, and then we had Penta G2, and then we had Empire, and then we had W7M Furia, and then we had FaZe. And it's like...
Yeah, that's like the simple, I would say the simple version.
The simple version is those 5, right?
Yeah.
And then every other tournament that has been won, you know, TSM winning a 6 Invitational, DZ winning a few majors, these are all one-offs, right? Like, even Space Station's SI win, like, where was the consistency aside from that? And I think another team that really comes into this conversation is Falcons, because of how many times they have been regarded as one of the best in the world, maybe even the best, but not making it into a championship, not actually raising the hammer or raising that trophy. And it makes me wonder, what is more impressive? A player like Fultz making it to 15 events in a row, a player like Canadian who's still playing 10 years.
Into every SI.
Exactly, every single 6 Invitational. What's more impressive, that? Or, you know, Penta G2 winning everything for a year and a half, or W7M being the undoubted best team for 2 majors and a 6 Invitational, or FaZe being in 3 6 Invitational finals in a row, winning 2 of them. You know, what is more impressive to you? I feel like there's actually, it's a bit of a subjective. I don't think there's a correct answer,
different
right?
ways of measuring it for sure. I have always valued consistency and longevity, and it's why I have so much respect for a player like Joe Canadian. He might not be going on stage dropping 20 kills every game and winning every single grand finals, but the guy's qualifying for an event. He's still there, still having impact and a presence, and teams like your FaZe Clan, who in recent history 3 SI Grand Finals in a row, right? That's one thing. But if you go back 7 years, they were in a top 4 Pro League final.
Totally.
You go back to, 5 years ago, they were in a major final. And sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but they are always at the top, chasing the trophy for such a long time. And then, like we said, we have teams that, I mean, look at Beast Coast, right? Out of nowhere, bunch of rookies, they win a major.
Sure.
And obviously we had Munich with a quartet again, but it's like, no one expects that to happen. But that's been the story of Siege. A team out of nowhere, even in Team Secret recently, they will win the tournament, surprise everybody, and then kind of disappear.
They'd be good for 6 to 12 months, and there's always a different array of reasons as to why that happens. For Team Secret, for example, they got poached to pieces. Unfortunately, you know, the conditions at Team Secret, the salary, whatever, can't compete with these other organizations like M80 and Falcons and Wildcard even. But yeah, it's a funny situation, isn't it? But I think there is no correct answer about what's more impressive.
No,
but
it's about what you value.
I think you need trophies, though. Like, you can't be like...
Can you be the best player of all time and have never won SI? Because that's a debate that
Shaiko. I mean, I don't think
Shaiko's the best example.
I am, like, very much... I think there's no right answer to a lot of these questions. I think there is a right answer to that. No, you cannot be the best player of all time and not have won a world championship. That is just, it's just impossible, right? Now, if Shaiko won the next world championship, maybe he would be in that conversation. But right now, he is not eligible. It's like our club championship.
Well, he's in the conversation now, but he's not stamped on the letter, you know?
Well, it's like, you know, here, the EWC format with the club championship, you could have the most points out of any club, but if you have not won in any specific game, you are not eligible to be the club champion.
You have to have a win to own.
That's right. You have to have a win, and you have to have a certain number of top 8 performances as well, or top 4 performances. We'll get our club championship reporters to get you the 100% detail on that.
But there's something there.
For sure, exactly. You know, like, I don't care if Falcons, let's say, they were second place in every single title. That's not good enough. You cannot win the championship unless you have one of the championships to your name. And I think that's very much the case. I don't care how many grand finals you've played in, especially Falcons, because they have been in so many grand finals. At that point, you were the favored team so many times, there's got to be some kind of curse. And look, I'm not a superstitious man, but the number of times Falcons have been to a grand final and lost it, I'm certainly feeling a little bit superstitious.
I think they've been gunning for Troy Canadian's record. Because Troy used to be the man who had suffered the most grand final losses before, and I feel like we're probably in a pretty equal area now at this point. Well, speaking of Shaiko and G2, I saw Shaiko yesterday. He's here.
Yes, yeah, he has been.
He was in our green room. He just spawned in. I was like, hello there. What are you doing here? He's hanging out.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, Shaiko's been here the whole time. I actually saw him riding his motorbike the other day.
Oh, did
he
you?
has a mean-looking motorbike.
Oh.
Very badass. Living it up on G2.
Gotta be careful. Yeah, the motorbike is kind of cool until it gets too scary, you know? I'm too scared to go for that.
You don't even have your driver's license.
That's my point. I'm too scared, man. I got a little scooter that's, you know, not license required. It goes 20 kilometers an hour.
Right. Oh, you've got like an electric scooter.
Yeah, like
that's cool. Those are dangerous. Xenox broke his arm riding one of those.
Oh, right. Guess I shouldn't be talking then, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, we're back into the server. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. We're into it. It's 4-2, and we move into the second half. So now DZ, for the first time, show us what they've got on the attacking side. This is their map pick, though, so they need to bring a little bit more energy than we saw on defense. Otherwise, this could be yet another fairly disappointing result from DZ.
Hold your horses right now. Side swap, keen on the Blackbeard shield. That's going to bode well for him. He's a phenomenal shield player, this man. He's waiting for the right call, the right time. Mind you, he has the shield on his back as the Blackbeard, giving less sound cue as to where he is. He doesn't sound like a shield operator. He just sounds like a regular dude in the server.
Yeah.
But he is not regular at all. He's going to jump in that CC window and take the fight towards Grubby.
Oh, nice little fight there, close range. Kino takes a little bit of damage from the barbed wire, but he should be able to smack that away. And once NJR destroys his Kiva barrier, he'll be able to contest and prevent Grubby from continuing to peek aggressively. Ooh, very nice. The air jab from NJR. It knocks Grubby back and allows Kino to go for that ADS fight. Early advantage now for DZ.
Air jab wasn't hurt there from Grubby because like too much sound, too much chaos in the server. Smoke canister explosions.
Oh,
the drone hull could net you some damage here, but Sax does not fire at the opportunity, and the wall being broken open here. A lot of pressure applied once again. Probably has to either go for a swing or fall back behind the Kiba, but that's only temporary cover. Once that gets shot, it's going to be either proning on the floor or forced to fall through the back.
Looks like DZ are in good stead now. Even though Kino is low HP, he should be able to withstand a few more bullets to the feet before he goes down. He's actually rotating the top blue, so he's likely to try and fight Ask in just a moment at the top of the CC stairs. Newers finds a very nice angle. Nice shot from Sarks, but now he has to worry about behind him because he's lost Ask at the top of the stairs. And Faults will work together with the Blackbeard to finish him off. Wow, very explosive split push from DZ. 3 avenues towards the bomb site. They deal the damage, and they rip GK to shreds.
I like how simple it was. It wasn't about a ton of different layers and utility and counters. Like good crossfires pushing together, utilizing the Blackbeard, playing on the air jabs, and just 3-2-1 connecting. And we saw some of the player interviews. I'm not sure it was Faults or J9O. I think it was J9O actually, saying that yesterday's loss kind of came down to small details. And we know we did wrong. We fixed them for today. And this was a much better look on the attacking side than what we've seen from DC in the last 2 days.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Now, moving into the second attack, they'll have to go down to basement, and GK have thrown a few curveballs here. Unusual to see a castle pick. I wonder what the plan is here from Grubby. How much these will be on the bomb site to slow down a potential rush? Because I think, if I recall correctly, at the halftime swap, Shepard actually called watch for this rush or watch for that rush. And sometimes the castle is good at slowing down the rush. Of course, you can destroy it with the Blackbeard or with the Zephyr. In this case, both are being brought. Now, Shepard also said be careful of the Thatcher. Okay, no Blackbeard here as the repicks come on out. A lot of options here for DZ. They've got Vert, they've got explosivity on the bomb set, they've got some hard breach.
The fact that they brought the Ace instead of Thermite leads me to believe it's not going to be a rush because you don't have a lot of space to work with using the Ace operator. But it definitely feels like a late round planned execute. The Thatcher getting in there, the Ram for the verticality, the Blitz for roam clear and planting later on. Keen to see what the plan is gonna be. DC, all about the process, the step-by-step action. That's step number 1. And it's free, because Bandit and Kite are banned away, and Mute doesn't even stop the summer charges any longer. And that's also why there's no Mute jammers on the wall itself, because what's the point? So you put the jammers elsewhere for drone denial and gadget denial.
That might enable them to roam a little bit longer on that top floor. GK on the bomb site will use the mirror windows, but that's Selma. Oh, wow.
I mean,
great
worth
usage. That is, yeah, 100% worth it there for Ask. It's a huge cost, very expensive to waste your only C4, but it does keep his mirror intact, and there are no Selmas left now for NJR.
If you were to lose the mirror window, the roamers have to fall back to support because you cannot solo hold the bomb site without it. But without the C4, you can't go for plant denials. Maybe this was baited by DC. They got the EMPs as well for double up.
Good smokes. No nitro cell now for Ars to try and deny this.
They might all go down for sure.
He's right in the middle, and they don't have information on where that plant's going down. The gas goes out too. A C4 is too late. Had that been slightly earlier there for Upor, the plant would have been denied, and DZ would not be in a post-plant position. But now the retake is nigh impossible for GK. DZ just outside. The smoke grenade will go out. Ars will try and long arm this. He'll try and get the angle with Yog and Sarks to try and cover, and it's working. Newers taunts in the all chat, but this seems to perhaps be working for GK. Ars will continue holding it. Nerves of steel for GK. The Ninja defuse. And DZ might have had a nice rush, but they got to be careful for those retakes from GK.
Oh my god. I mean, usually there's going to be a freebie, but planning a little bit too far on the left-hand side, and the long arm was somewhat possible, and DC didn't have the verticality for the post.
Asked in the old chat, maybe not a good spot to plant.
He also said, nice job in the middle of the 5v5 action. It was pretty...
I think Newers was the one that said that.
Newers
right after he died, Newers said that. And I'm like, bro, you're 3v4 right now.
And it's not a good post plant whatsoever. That is incredible retake, though, I gotta say.
I mean, if DZ had 2 players upstairs, surely that's unlosable, but they didn't have anyone on the vert. I think the only player on the vert was Newers, and he was the one that got taken down.
It's one of those cases where it's such good strategy from both teams, right? The Selma charge baits out the C4 as a possibility. Then they recognize, guys, planting to be quite straightforward. They only have one C4 now, maybe, and smoke, but they're both roaming. So you can get like halfway through the plant duration, then they arrive by the bomb site. And we got Thatcher as well to kind of go for the counter. The only thing is, had Kino been 2-3 steps further to the right-hand side, the angle is much more in their favor. So a strat successfully executed, just the post plant didn't go their way. Technically a good round for DC.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked a lot about this in the DZ versus Furia game and in the DZ versus Weibo game. You can have good macro, but sometimes games are won or lost based on tiny little moments like, does that plant go down? Does that defuse come out? We saw that especially in the DZ Weibo quarterfinal.
Yes.
There were a lot of smoke plants, and DZ were really good at denying them.
Yeah, they were. Again, DC usually the team to win the retakes themselves, but this time it goes against. And Ask, I mean, you can say he's 1-5 on the scoreboard. All I see is that he defused the diffuser last round and got his team the round victory. Again, there are so many ways of gaining value that's not shown you on the scoreboard, in the kill department. Kino right now, for example, playing the shield operators. I mean, he's doing such a big job, everything off from map control, clearing player positions, gaining information, even if you might not get a kill.
Oh. 2 rounds in the lead now for GK on that defensive side. DZ, a lot of work to do. Now, this top floor attack last time was impeccable. They started with control of IT, control of rafters. They quickly pivoted, took top blue very quickly. Now, not a C4 for Ask to try and... Oh, actually, impact almost works. The second impact will destroy the Selma, but not before a hole is opened up underneath that mirror.
Yeah, underneath it. The mirror is still there.
Technically, but you can't really play on it safely as you'll be exposed to below it.
Not a good time. So DK, I think they've read the situation. There's going to be a backside take right now because Yonk is cleared out rafters. He's peeked IT outside and he's like, okay, there's no one there.
Oh, wow.
Big booms downstairs. C4 not for that reason because there's dead player C4 at the end because Sox went down. Upor low on HP. Sox already dead. He's starting off with a statement.
And JR can't sprint thanks to that Thorn Trap. He is limping. Now that air jab could actually be shot if Upor perhaps gets close enough, or perhaps if he wide swings, it might actually detonate and force him back. Now he's just prone on the floor. And it looks like JNO might be moonwalking. Is everybody moonwalking? I think everybody's moonwalking.
I see a moonwalk as well, James. I don't like that.
It's a thriller.
Ooh. That is actually a tough situation. I'm going to have to assume that the players also know how to play. I see them with their hands in the air. So this is a tough situation to call. There was a 5v4. It wasn't like nobody was dedicated. I'm not sure what the angle is here. Do you just replay it? Do we have to talk to the admins? I'm not.
You know what's great? You know what's great?
It's not our job.
Is that it's not our job. It's not that.
But the
not our job to make the call about what we do, and we have to rehearse.
Well, this team might have had the advantage. Well, this team would argue the opposite. And
well, okay. Do we want to give our opinions on who had the advantage?
I think we should get a player from each team to plead their case to why they should get the round victory.
That's true, like a debating battle.
Debating battle,
That's a great idea, like both of them stand up. You know what, if we get like call out up the front, you know exactly what he's going to say? He's going to say, I don't even care, I just want to I just want to play the game. Let's just replay it.
Let's just replay it.
I'll just play
That's
the
most fair thing there is to do, right?
I think we're probably going to end up replaying that round. Like, look, it was reasonably even.
Sox will be happy with that. He died early. Yupo was low on HP, but the attackers had low time. So.
JNO had like 1.5 kills with the 3 big booms, by the way.
1.5.
Because he killed Sarks and he got a ton of damage onto Upor. I think he was like half HP on the Warden. Yeah. I can only assume that we'll probably replay that round, but we'll get the call from the admins before too long. Don't worry, everyone's loading back into the lobby. I can see that almost all the players are back in the lobby, so we'll be starting again very soon. Did you get my Michael Jackson reference? When like everyone was moonwalking, I started singing Thriller.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I was afraid of getting copyright struck, so I didn't want to...
Oh, you think I'm that accurate?
Weren't you?
Well,
I mean, I caught it immediately. You're spot on.
Well, thank you.
If only people could see the dance moves you're doing at the same time.
Oh,
now don't. The music video.
People
right
aren't ready for my dance moves.
Yeah, it's weird because we have the top-down view on a second monitor here, and you look at the, you know, what everyone is seeing on the stream. It's like it looks like a game is happening.
Yeah.
Look to the middle monitor. It's like everyone's been walking.
Yeah.
Everyone's standing still.
A little bit of a moonwalk. A little bit of a moonwalk. Oh, I see someone getting active in the chat. I can see the game has started. We're back into it. Back into it. I do find it really interesting when I see players typing in the chat, and then I can see on our top-down monitor that there's no convo in the chat, because that tells me they're typing in the team chat, which means it's just notes to their own players on their team, which I always think is really interesting. We noticed that the other day after the tactical timeout. I believe it was from Callout.
It was from DC,
yeah, it was from DZ, doing a lot of typing.
Taking some notes in the chats.
It's a cool idea. I've never really thought about doing that. I only ever use the team chat to say, you know, like you say rush B in the all chat, and then bracket in the team chat, actually rush A.
Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys,
no,
if you come up to Pengu at the event and you say, can I have Black Ice, he will personally give it to you.
I will not. This is hearsay, this is slander. But I know of other games where you use the in-game chat as a tool.
Yeah.
One of those games were here.
Which one is that?
I think they were here.
I see a lot of smack talking. Is it League or Dota?
Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here.
It was, I believe.
Okay,
I think it's
probably early weeks then.
Dota definitely was.
I think so. In League of Legends, you will type down in the in-game chat the cooldown of summoner spells. The flash, for example, and teleport, whatever. That way you're kind of tracking in-game exactly when they come up, because there's no tool built into the game that tells you. And another small thing that used to be the case in Siege.
Yeah.
Nowadays you have a drone counter, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day you didn't.
You used to type.
You used to say it, so like drone phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when the prep phase would end, if you're a team that's forgetful, you just type 4 in chat. Yeah. And then when you start killing drones, you just ask them, what's the counter again? You click the in-game chat, it's 4. So now it's 5.
League of Legends was actually played already.
Yeah, I thought so, okay.
Do you know who won it?
I don't.
It was Deep Boss.
Oh.
Random.
I think I saw the quarter or semi-final, not the grand final itself. I mean, Deep Boss winning is not random, by the way. Just saying, that is not random.
Are they like one of the best?
They're pretty good.
Oh, Carmine Corp came second.
Oh, did they? I didn't
That's kind of
see. I saw T1 losing. That's the game I was watching.
Yeah, they came 4th in the end.
And I think she 3rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I like some League of Legends. Big fan.
You know, the game's still to play, so obviously we've got the championship of Siege today. We've got chess today as well, the grand final, which I believe is...
They're playing a third place match right now as well.
Oh, really? Which is Hikaru Nakamura versus the other guy.
And then we've got the young 19-year-old in the grand final up against Magnus
No,
Carlsen.
Hikaru is gone, no?
Yeah, that's why I said it's third place match.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Anyway, of course, back into it. DZ still fighting from behind. And this time around, it is a trade back and forth. Grubby finds nothing as he is taken down. But Kino also falls, and now Newers has been shot out by Sark. So you're right, Sark's very happy to get a second chance, a second life. DZ going quick, but GK seem to be putting a very fast stop to their push. Of course, it's the control room bomb site, very different to what we saw from the round that never got finished. And GK, very active on this defense. They don't need to make a move, but Sarks does anyway, and he gets a little bit silly with it. Gets taken down. 2v3 is very winnable here for Fultz and NJR.
I love when a team, they have a bit of a re-host, right? And they both going to say, guys, let's control the pace, go fast into it. They're both fighting back and forth. The Nari tripwire right there, shocking NGR.
Teammate literally pinged it for him.
Hey, relax, buddy, okay? Oh, he got sapped again. He can't find the laser. Beep, beep, beep.
Strange move there from NJR.
20 damage every time, by the way. So nice and slow. And if they find the second kill from Fultz, that could change everything into even numbers. There's still plenty of time to work with. They have no drone watching this player of Viewport. He just has good game sense on this. Planting, though, I'm not sure. It honestly could be possible. There's no C4s, there's no verticality.
DZ really need this round to prevent the match point, and indeed he will go for the plant. He wants to try and bait that flank from Uport. He saw him earlier. He's got the read, great, but no, misses the shot. Needs to win this fight so critically, but he doesn't now. NJR doesn't have that diffuser. It was such a pivotal moment there for Fultz, and NJR needs to get back in a position. Uport has just run all the way back. NJR doesn't know where he is. He doesn't have time to chase down both of these kills, nor does he have time to get that diffuser. DZ are going to go down in such a significant deficit. It's 6 rounds up for GK, for 3 for DZ. Map point here on DZ's map pick as we head into the operator bans, and I already have the call. After the operator bans are finished, DarkZero will take their tactical timeout.
All right, so let's see the bans first, yeah. What's the vibe? What are you feeling? What is the problem? I frankly couldn't tell you. I feel like there's been so many different obstacles here.
Maybe it's the Denari.
He's just like, can we ban Denari, please? I'm sick of it. Yeah, Sami is very standard.
Good move. Very good move. Though it's only been played 1 round so far.
You still want to do that, like mini play? See the same thing.
What DZ have to say.
Alright, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Next time it's supply, we can send Topic similar pressure off that. I want to make sure we're getting hard pressure off Weed though. More likely than not, they're going to extend off that, drop the Nomad, take it floors with the fucking con window side June down there. Rip all the shit they have, probably going to be like a shield extension, etc. I want to open up the Weed side, and then after you open Weed side, you can decide if you want to flip back into it. Cut out the horizontal look right now, look for like a water or like a fucking fork, Raptor window gap, shit like around there. Cut out the game side lurk. All I want to do is apply weed pressure and then cut out his drop and supply. For command, what you call it is fine. I don't really like, doesn't really matter one way or another. The only thing I'm going to say is make sure that we're very decisive once we do take that water set, how we're going to transition into taking the Raptor, if you want to do that. And then for basement, let's just keep it simple, apply side pressure and clear against these guys.
Okay.
A good old gift to break down for all 3 bombs, because DC have to go flawless now. 3 rounds in a row. They know the rotation here from GK, and right now it's about round by round.
Yeah, 3 map points is a lot here for GK on their defense as well.
Just gotta dig deep. I mean, this gunfight in particular, I honestly thought that Force was
Oh man, the mouse slam.
The thing is, Force played this so well. So he went to the bomb side, started planting. There's a pre-play C4 that was popped by the default plant position. When that happens, Force gets off the plant, goes back.
He knows he must be downstairs.
Exactly, chases the kill, does the first bit of damage, and somehow loses that fight. On the other end, NGR found the kill onto Ask in bottom garage rafters.
That should be the round.
That could have been a 2v1 favor in DC with the plant guaranteed to go down shortly after.
Also, if Fultz's fight had happened like 5 seconds after NJR gets a kill, Fultz probably thinks, maybe I won't take this fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll play the 2v1 on site and wait for that flanker from below.
Exactly.
So yeah, look, I think that was a very telling moment when we saw Fultz slam his mouse just there, because DZ are known to be the team that says, you know, screw the narrative, we don't care, we meditate before every game. Even yesterday, as Furia were slamming their drums, the 5 players sat before the match started with their their eyes closed. They're meant to be the kings of mental. This is just another game. It doesn't matter to us. But clearly it matters a little bit if Fultz is having a reaction like that after a missed gunfight.
Is this spot from Grobby like actually playable? The bottom catwalk window that you just look towards, the rappel upside down outside the door.
He plays it a lot though.
I know, but with this shield, I mean, you gotta be a little bit crazy to play in that spot, right? But sometimes you need that bit of flair, that bit of like, I'm gonna do something so completely outrageous that my enemy won't even be ready for it.
Sometimes you have to take a risk. It looks like DZ want to do that right now. Kino gonna make his way up the stairs. Pressure from outside the balcony. The mute jammer. No, it doesn't stop the blitz. And Kino will find that kill onto Ask in his common position that he's been playing for most of this game. Now DZ with the numbers advantage can pivot. They don't have to hard commit to this one-directional push. They could go for a split push like we've seen from them before.
Geekay don't exactly understand what the pressure is. Jump out happens to the roof still, just holding an angle. NTR gets a freebie. And now Kino on full HP up against just a singular C4. That means that Kino has almost no ways of being counterplayed. He could just walk on in with the smoke grenades, with the Incubator, the fire from Capital, and this could very easily become a plant or a kill round.
DZ don't need to overcomplicate this, but they do need to make sure they don't just fall into the same player crossfire from Grubby, Newers, and Kino's on the floor! Surely not! This can't be the way that DZ let it fall out of their hands! And into GK! It's 1-0 up in the series for the Europeans as our major champions once again.
And the main thing is we're starting to see a pattern of DarkZero losing the first map, picking up exactly what kind of playstyle they're facing, and then adapt and come back from it. So I'm not too worried about DarkZero. They're gonna go onto their map pick now, especially I think the fact they're gonna start attack is a blessing in disguise. I know this map is usually defender-sided, but this gives them the opportunity to not have to deal with that a little bit of worrying of the lurking playstyle of Geekay that especially is strong in attack. They will start by being proactive. They remove Asami, that will make obviously the piano side much easier to attack. And now as we look at this, obviously Geekay does not want to face a shield on the side of DarkZero.
Kino, they were talking about the second best shield player in the world. So some of those bans coming through. Iconic, what are you seeing here?
Getting rid of the Grim. Grim's going to be a great displacement operator, just be able to shoot the bees in and get information for your team. The Wamai too is going to hurt the extension. A lot of times you see the C1 being a pivotal position here with the Rooney Gates or the Jaeger. So it's going to hurt that extension right now. And you should see a lot more Rooney / Jaeger coming out on the top 4 sites.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the round is set. The map, we already know where we're going. Should be Cafe. And this one could be a big one. North America trying to bounce back, or will it be Europe that reigns supreme in this matchup? Let's send it back over to your casters, Dev and Pengu, to kick us off map 2.
Thank you very much, Rain Day. Welcome to Cafe, Pengu. Can I take your order?
I was thinking about it for a second.
Yeah,
I'm not that hungry.
Really? Well,
but how about
this morning? Do you remember what you ordered this morning at the cafe?
An omelette.
And do you remember the coffee you ordered?
I got a crème coffee.
Café crème.
Café crème.
Café crème. Un café crème, s'il vous plaît.
Got some bread with butter and
pain. Pain avec confiture?
Yeah, something like that. It's like something
framboise. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Sorry to the French.
We have a little cafe near the hotel. We've been going most mornings.
It's good. I mean, I was going to order a banger of a series, but that's just me.
Oh, that would have been a good answer.
That would have been. I led you.
I wasn't
lead a horse to water, but you can't make it.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was in my own head. I was thinking about like making a point about the Monty, the Sami, the Ward, man, how much influences, or my rather, how much influence it has on like the piano aspect of the map. And then we're starting downstairs in kitchen. I'm like, this doesn't matter.
Hey, piano is still relevant. J90 has just made his way upstairs already.
There's no enemies. This is Tim, on his lonesome, on his handsome, walking down the red staircase, fighting for that map control.
Nice little way though to use the RAM. Obviously, you want to use that to get Vert, but you can also use it to hop breach, as we saw from J90. So nice little way to start the roam clear. Once you finish the roam clear, you can start getting to the main job, which is the Vert for RAM.
Shout out Kino, by the way. Bro's playing Fuse Shield. I'm a huge fan.
Dedicated.
Yeah, and this is one of the few bomb sites, I think, in the whole game where it actually does have significant value up against others like your Maestro, your etc. Great value there from General. Finds a very close to Uport. That's the Warden and the C4 remove from action. But the thing about the Fuse here is that you can pop it down on the soft floor, break apart the Vulcan canisters from the Goyo, any sort of setup with the barbed wires, the deployment. Okay, we're hitting our teammates with DMP. That's fine. The second one hits the correct mark. So right now, after clearing utility, dodging C4s and staying alive, they can put down the sense projector walls, start fusing the floor, maybe prep one for late round, drop down the hands, go for a plant. This should be for DZ 100% about playing for the plant and the post.
Yep. Of course, question is, will there be any fires
Beautiful coverage.
as the coverage from the Sens wall comes on out? Newers will go down, however. And there is still the presence here in VIP, held by Yogg. The plan being confirmed by Kino at the moment as the flank comes through from Grubby. He finds one. This will need to be a big flank opportunity now from GK. Into the 3v3 coverage upstairs by NJR on this flank watch, and he gets Grubby dead to rights. Yogg now still needs to make a move from VIP as Ask managed to detonate that fiery Kiba, rather the Vulcan canister from Goyo. Will be traded back from the 90-degree angle from J90. Now Yogg in a 1v2, and NJR is up above on the vert. Beautiful plant, beautiful cover from DZ.
Yeah, that right there is just strategical knowledge of like where can we plant is absolutely safe, and they do it smartly. They jump into the bomb site window to plant deeply. It's a mini croissant. And with that, the C4 cannot reach, the smoke canisters cannot reach. The plant is guaranteed to go down because there's no line of sight with the sense projector walls either. So again, perfect understanding. Good flank attempt there from Grubby, not gonna lie, but it doesn't matter. J90 deep in the bomb site, and NGR did retake that top floor vert. Or upstairs, really.
Yeah, I have to wonder, if you're a player like Kino, how many rounds of Siege are you playing a day, right? Scrimming, like, how many rounds of Siege are you playing
At least 10
per month, right? At least 10. It's a lot more than 10.
Okay, so on average, you know,
a scrims?
It's safe to say that you play 3 maps at least 6 days a week. And then there are days you do more than 3, but 3 is the minimum.
So let's say average of like 12.
Although when you got Pro League, you don't play as much.
So 12 rounds in a scrim, right?
Yeah.
Most scrims, yeah?
Yeah, guaranteed 12 rounds. You play 6 halves.
12 rounds. Pardon me, I just had to cough for a second. 12 rounds of scrim, 3 scrims a day, that's 36 rounds.
That's 36 rounds.
6 days a week, 6 times 36 is an unknowably large number.
Nice.
I think it's 300 and something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy number. What percentage do you reckon he's playing a shield? A pretty damn high number.
Pretty damn high number. I mean,
most of his attacks.
Honestly, I think the number is in like, depending on the meta at the time, whatever, but I'm probably like in the 50 to 65% category for the attacking side.
Isn't that insane? Like that's
for the attacking side.
Probably like 100 or so rounds in a week of shields.
And that's not counting for ranked and whatever else you do on your own time, right? So yeah, and this is why, exactly the reason why, some players are phenomenal at the shields, because if you play that many rounds often, you learn the weaknesses and the strengths. Then you have players who started playing shields recently because of the shield meta, who's only clocked a couple of hours and maybe only a couple of 100 rounds on the shields and all their use of pro play. That right there is a difference maker between a great shield player and a decent shield player. And Kino, one of the all-time greats.
Absolutely. How many do you think you've played? How many hours do you think you've played on Monty, for example?
Well, I have like so many accounts I've played on, and you know,
your main account, which is I'm guessing is pengu.psg, is it?
It doesn't track custom games. That's the issue.
Nah.
It only tracks ranked games.
Disappointing.
But shields usually are my most played operators in ranked. I think Monty, Blitz, and Fuse are all top 3 the last couple seasons that I played.
Disgusting.
So there is that. But we got the reveal coming in not too long, and there is a question mark about. Are the shields going to be useless? That new
the shield busting operator coming out.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. That's coming out later today. Wow, big double kill, making a triple for Ask with the LMG on the Maestro. Love to see that from GK. Bit of energy. DZ try and dominate this top floor with a bit of aggression, but it doesn't work out. And really, they're just fighting one man who's solo holding with this LMG.
81 bullets, packs a punch. Not about the cameras, not about util, just about the fighting. Gets shot down. Crossfire status Cigar and from Cocktail. Kino finds that frag. Now, the benefit of having the Solid Snake in the late round with so many deaths that every single member that dies, your teammate or your opponent will drop a little satchel. You see that blue icons on the floor, you can run across them and pick up any piece of secondary utility with the exception of Heartbeat's gadget. So you can get up a frag grenade or a flash grenade or a smoke grenade, but only one of each in pocket. Kino goes down, leaving Newers in a 1v3.
You can bait this out one by one. You might have a chance. Good weapon in the F2. Sark's waiting on the close angle with the shotgun. Diffuser just behind Newers.
Wallbang right here.
Very possible here. You just got to have the better reaction times against the shotgun. Wow, it's a crossfire. He reads it, but Upor still finds the kill regardless. Good response from GK. Convincing round in defense.
Just fighting, fighting, fighting. What's happening here, James?
Oh, please. Oui, croissant.
Oui, oui.
Oh, merci
It's a mini croissant.
Can I... Oh, do I get another
I
one?
think I get one as well, right?
Oh, you're
Surely.
getting one.
Come on, get me in here. Can I get an Eiffel Tower? Yeah,
Maybe get it next to the camera. We'll get a little picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Getting a photo of it.
Oh, how beautiful.
Beautiful.
Merci beaucoup. Mwah.
Today has been a game of distractions.
It has.
There are conversations happening. There are plays in the server. There's a cameraman roaming around who's also he's getting the stickers ready while carrying a huge camera. By the way, I was thinking, what is happening there?
I was like, are they gonna just like take a photo of us? No, okay. All right, back to the conversation we were having before, Pengu. What do you think your most played three operators in ranked are?
Of all time.
Yeah, and they're all attackers.
On attack. On attack, Ace is on there.
Yep, that's your number one.
So, okay, there's a caveat here. The rank system doesn't track until after year 7, so you have to keep that in mind.
Okay.
So Thatcher wouldn't be on there because that was in the past. I'm gonna go Munty.
Yep, I'm number 2.
I'm gonna go Blitz.
Yep, number 3.
Bang, I knew it.
Dirty shield player right here exposed on stream.
And there was a season where Fuse was third instead of Ace, because Ace was bad all the time.
You also have a 1.65 KD on Blitz with 654 rounds played.
Not
you
bad.
absolute demon.
It's not bad.
It's disgusting.
Look at my all-time win percentage record of all time. Like,
on
back,
what?
Goes back to my main profile.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
not the operators. Sorry, Self-Glacier.
Win percent is 79.6. Oh, shut up.
Lifetime ranked, hold up. Lifetime ranked 82.5 with a 2 KD. Over...
1.94 KD, okay, come on.
Okay, over 5,000 games. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
not bad.
5,000 games with only less than 500 losses. Machine. All right, let's see. What's this from Grubby?
To lock in.
From Cigar Lounge. He actually finds a double kill. I think they mustn't have realized that he was tucked around behind the minibar and he feels exposed. He still finds it. This nade, I don't think that'll flush him out of his position. He's happy to just tank the damage. It also doesn't even destroy the minibar, but those explosions go both directions. A nitro cell tossed out from down below in train by Sarks gets the injure onto Newers. I think they have an inkling. Good pre-fire from Foles. Almost traded back. Newers will get back up on his feet. DZ will try and pick up the pieces of this very grim-looking round.
Early disruption time and time again. It was Ask previously, now Grubby finding 2 quick kills. News on low health too. They do have a job for verticality, but he's walking down the white staircase looking for a fight instead, so that hammer not going to be used downstairs. Jock was waiting for him. An absolute freebie. And DC not having a ton of strat right now in the server. No step 1, step 2, step 3 because they fall early in the round.
It'll have to come down to fishing for picks here. But look at Geekay, 2 players right next to each other in Dining Hall. There's no way that Foltz can find both of these kills, and they're keen to peek for it. Ars takes a lot of damage to that LMG, but Foltz cannot deliver the killing blow. Walking through the flank track stingers, Sarks will put the pressure on as Ars gets aggressive. Geekay feeling confident today on the defensive half of Cafe. It's another round where DZ looked more lost than ever.
Yeah, again, DC's gonna slow down the game right now and take it step by step. Don't fall early in those gunfights. Get the drone work going. I do think that Multiban has been super influential because it's so hard to play the other shields. The verticality, the C4s, the long-range gunfire that's gonna be happening. It's such an uncomfortable map to play, you know, the Blackbeard, the Blitz, the Fuse, with some bumps and exceptions, of course, like that kitchen downstairs. Val could get bent away here. Information and verticality speak about it. And then Ying, combining with the Grim, weakens to execute, and DC will call their attack time to prepare for the second half of the attack.
Remember we were kind of talking about off that, like they do the, it's like the Valkyrie extend out towards like Skylight side or kind of red, whatever it is that falls back. If you want to go fast in that bulk or Porte as the intro, one adjustment I want to make here though, is let's bring the snake early to like the piano south side windows, get pings across for like whatever the fuck they're doing right there, and then we can go into whatever we want to afterwards. But in general, mid sites, let's just slow down a little bit. We can start with the spread, and then if we want to go into piano over off that we can, if we want to go cross kill we can. Just slow down a little bit though. Like these guys are not playing very good Cafe defense right now. They're just taking advantage of us not being ready for their rat shit, basically, is all this.
Yeah,
heard. On this, anticipate the 90%. If we see it again, we can run it again with the dope, or we can flip into something else like a 32. Treat it as seen.
They're not playing a very good defensive half on Cafe. We're just falling for their rat bleep. And they are doing some rat plays, it is true, but DC themselves are not droning all the corners. They're not slowing down enough to stabilize the round. They rabble in, completely oblivious to the fact that Robbie was just there in the corner the entire time. And that's the second time in a row now where the entire round has been determined inside piano. And when you have the Asami, the Wamai, and the Monteban, like I said in the very beginning, it really plays so heavily from both sides about Cigar and piano, because those are operators that heavily get utilized in those positions. DC haven't seemed super aware of that. They've been skipping some steps, they've been punished, but with that call-out being mentioned from that call-out being taken by call-out, that's such an awkward sentence. Hopefully DC can switch it up.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, you have to play the game that's before you right now. You can't try and play the game that you prepared for if that's not the one that you're playing in the server, right? If you've VODed GK, you know they like to play certain bomb sites in specific ways. This guy roams here, this guy likes to fall back at this time. They have this set up here. That's great. And then you tunnel vision on that, and you forget that you probably should drone piano before you have two people swing inside, and Grubby is there to get the free double. I mean, the round was very much not your typical round of Siege after that had happened, because of Grubby getting that early 2-pick. Now DZ look to try and attack onto Kitchen. Now this is where the map started. DZ were very good at attacking this bomb site. Cafe is quite defensive sided. If DZ win here and then win one of the next 2 rounds, they could very much turn this game around.
There's going to be a pocket pick here from GK to change it up though, the clash.
And ask Hid in the prep phase.
Yeah. And doesn't care as much about the verticality from the attacks. You can kind of walk below it with the shield covering. You can walk in towards the plant spot, put down the shield, go for a kill. So GK having a different win condition. They're also playing a ton of different time denial operators. You know, the fire, the smoke, even the 2-brow they could use for a hatch if they don't want to commit to it. But DC, I mean, they are great at executing in a 5v5 fashion when they can get all the right pieces together. We saw that the last time when they found their first round victory. This should be a similar story. So this is GK doing a handshake deal with DC saying, we will take the 5v5 late round, and we believe that we can win it this time.
I like that from DZ. The adaptation to use the Hibana, and then you've got Extrovert, no more Sledge, but it's much safer to breach that hatch. Also gives you more options in the late round for additional hard breach should you desire to do so. The question is, with no fuse, how will DZ look to try and clear the Vulcan canisters on the bomb site? No grenades either. No Twitch, so no real util to try and counter it. I think they might have to swap. Yeah, go for a bake take.
I see Kino upstairs on the roof. I see 2 players outside. First they baited, Gon6 goes out and force the first fire. Stall for 20 seconds. Captain responds. The crash still counts as the Kino shield. That's the issue.
Nitro!
It's big!
Big! And a second one from Uport to follow up. He's using this clash perfectly as Ask protects him. Uport could fall back right now, but I think he wants to continue holding on to Bakery for as long as physically possible. With no shield left for DZ, and with the Hibana taken down, there are such few options now for the North American squad.
Perfect arrival there from Ask. All about putting the clash in the execute position for counterplay. With 35 seconds to go here, DC outside the building, no real openings, and as long as GK don't overcommit to a bad swing solo-like, they should be a lockout for a 3-1.
Yeah. Good barbed wire here as well. Forces Newers to clear it with the grenade. He will be walking into a 3-way crossfire if he swings here. It's easy for Sarks to take that 1v1, knowing that he's got a teammate holding this crossfire. And Yogg quickly swings onto Faults. J90, 1v5, make it a flawless. Big round from Uport in the Bakery. And it looks like on Kitchen, GK have finally figured out how to cook.
Frustration from DarkZero players now, can only imagine. Again, they called attack timeout. Again, it falls apart way too early in a very simple fashion as well. It's, again, the small details not coming together for DC, and we saw the effectiveness of the multi-ban. It's like, this is such an insane counterplay. Because you're sapping the shield with the clash, the shield doesn't get the explosive resistance, so Kino dashes to a singular C4. And they push straight into it, straight into the setup. Didn't have the correct read there from DC. I'm not sure if they even knew that Clash was on the board until it arrived at Bakery or not. I honestly have no idea. It didn't seem like they had that figured out.
Right. I mean, you look at the lineup there from DZ that last round. You've got Gridlock, Hibana, Blitz, Capitao, and Ram. The only thing to try and deal with that clash was the Capitao, and fire arrows were not placed in the right positions to try and deal with it or suppress it at all. DZ got outplayed in the operator selection phase. And now they have 2 chances before we say goodbye to their attacking half to try and find a little bit of redemption. The final bans have come on out before the prior round. The clash was left through. DZ decided to get rid of the Valkyrie, but that's fine here. I mean, Geekay have shown that they're happy to play the Mozzie, which has a double effect. You can use those cameras, the hacked drones, like Valkyrie cameras, but also it's just more drone denial. And with the recent buffs that have come through to Mozzie's gadget, it's such powerful drone denial, especially on maps that are so centered around windows.
Yeah. And singled always. I mean, Cafe through the #1 Mozzie map right now. C4 taking a shotgun and the gadget as you mentioned. So, good bit of value there from Sarks. And again, what can DC do? They can slow down the game, drone more, get more intel. Well, Mute/Mozzie completely plays into that again. They got the mirror windows as well, which gets protected by the Mute Jammers and by the Mozzie Pest. DC, they are desperate for an opening pick. They are desperate to make this round easier, more consistent. Because it comes down to high-risk gameplay, Geekay, they thrive in that area.
Oh wow, electing not to shoot the gridlock tracks from Yogg. He's actually going to tank damage from them as well.
He's standing still in it, so he's kind of just vibing.
It's very strange. He could be knifing them even. But he's going to have the debuff while he's in the track stingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just shot them, but he's got the debuff now. He can't sprint for a few seconds as he falls on back.
Oh, AJR's in.
Yeah, and JR needs to find this kill as well. Being contested, but it's a crossfire, well played, as Grubby gets the injure.
Solo push.
Are you kidding me? Fault is running Twitch shotgun? Is this deliberate? I've never seen this before. This can't be deliberate.
He has attachments on it, so that's a good sign, I guess.
I mean, it's a good shotgun, but he doesn't have an automatic weapon now, and the pistol for Twitch is not particularly powerful. He looks to go deep, finds a kill with the Twitch shotgun. I don't think I've ever seen that in a pro match before. Hungry for more, looking for a second in close range. Now this is where the shotgun really comes to play. Never underestimate that French shotty. Upor though, he's got a shotgun of his own. This one fires slugs, takes J90's head clean off, 3v3. He's trapped here in Laundry. Oh, he's gonna take so much damage, he's gonna die. Grubby now on the vert, might find an angle onto Keynote. The plant will start. Grubby can deny this though. This is very risky. A lot of damage now on defaults as Ask finally takes him on down. It's up to Keynote to find a safe haven to plant, but he has no util left. Newers must do the majority of the work here for DZ. Holding into the post plant. Keynote's taken down very low. The retake is well and truly on for Ask and Grubby. As I say that, the Brazilian will fall. It's all up to Grubby now as he wants to try and drop. 2 players watching his position. I just don't think he's got it in him to make this one work. Into the crossfire he goes. DZ, they had a drought of rounds, but finally, after a very unorthodox attack, they look to finally get themselves back into it. Kino to close a second round on the attacking side for DZ.
Nice try there, but with no intel for the defense, Grubby couldn't figure out where to do the verticality to find that plant there, and Kino, very good job there, not going for an ordinary default plant spot, knowing that Grubby was chasing on the verticality, just into like a random corner in the bomber side. Much more unorthodox, it works off very well, but the way the DC start the round, NJR solo flying in the building with no trade game whatsoever. Either he was playing a calculated game of distraction, or Grubby actually did find that spot.
Wow.
Either he was playing a random game of distraction, hoping that the other teammates are going to push forward successfully, which they did do, thankfully. But I don't like the fact that they are doing these solo plays from DC because they've been falling apart so early for so many of these rounds.
Yeah, they have another strange round. Surely Fultz isn't going to be running the shotgun again here on the Twitch.
Hey, it was good for one.
It was
almost
good for one.
2.
Honestly, if he had gone, he absolutely could have killed, I think it was Upor, the one playing inside of Laundry. Absolutely could have taken the fight on him with that shotgun. But no, yeah, strange round from DZ. I don't really know how to read that. Kaid comes out here for Geekay. It's going to make that hatch a lot more difficult to breach. It's also going to protect this mirror window. The Twitch is picked off of, as is the Ash. So fewer counters here for those mirror windows. And I mean, no EMP.
Fewer, but there's not.
Yeah, well, no EMPs either. The arguably only counter that mirror window is the smoke from the Capital. But no EMPs here to open up those electricals and get that hatch, get that mirror.
Let's see how DC they play this. Again, tertiary bomb site. Mining is, on paper, gonna be a higher chance of win here for the attack, but there's going to be a mirror window in play, supported by the Kai crossing the hatch. And DC, again, they might struggle with time if they go for a full clear. Again, they want to be cautious. They don't want to die early, and that means play a bit slow, be a bit safer. And if you do that, plus a full map control clear, again, we're talking about the timer working against them. India on the same window as the previous round. This time there's a castle barricade protecting his arrival inside the building. We'll break it open.
Oh,
but now stay on the exterior.
He's a perfect operator to deal with this, though. He's got flashes to burn, and now the nade comes in.
It's on in.
Yeah, Upor, though, meanwhile, has found not only one, but Yoga jumps outside from the White Stairs window. And with that, TCSG claims a kill. He's actually looking to try and contest. This is so dirty, as if Yoga continues fighting. Genito wants to take this gunfight. He's got essentially wall hacks onto this player while he's detected outside. But Yog knows the angle here for Genito is not easy. And as he tries to swing around, Yog will take him down from outside. Insults added to injury by Geekay as they look to swim through so cleanly on this defense. It's going to be a 4-2 split. Newers tries to 1v5, but I think that we have another flawless round coming right up for GK.
Yog is still outside the building as well, waiting for a second fight. Newers gonna take it on the corner, just like his teammate. Can he come out victorious?
Another one. Oh, gets the injure finally. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
He can't get the kill.
Eventually goes around the corner, but now worried about the player above him. Worried that he's going to get baited, trying to go for the finish off. Yeah, and he takes some damage all the way from the balcony on the other side. Get your kill, fine. Get your one. Pad that stat, get that KD. It doesn't matter. Ask is coming for you. GK are running DZ down. First, they took their map pick on Labs here on Cafe. 4-2 in the first half. A wry smile from Shepard. And it's time for the halftime timeout.
Giving up, like, you guys are kind of identify it. You listen to what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
They're giving up, like, the tarp area, like, they're coming in and out of, like, cocktail back and forth, and also we've shown now twice that we're going to go over and try to OPK that. Ignore the OPK for now. If you want to go slow on the piano side, you can just call the base against these guys. They're not abusing rounds nearly as much as I thought they were. And, like, we can just bring the thatch with the Cade, work the walls across, and just keep it slow against them on, like, that mid-site. Reading, however, I will say off that last one, if you're not thinking you can go piano for whatever reason, the rush did look like it was there, like on the actual site side rush. And then kitchen, you just clear, we go copy side. If we see the clash, bring the nomad. Like, just bring the nomad no matter what, even if you don't identify the last operator. Just box him out like you do against Sonics.
Heard that.
And on this defensive side, make a pretty quick read. It is a different map than Nighthaven, kind of like AD was saying. So, like, there isn't like a real rafter on this map, for example. But if, like, they're just absolutely dominating that first zone, you got to be a little more decisive. And if we're going to, like, fall back to the second one, we're going to fight there. If we're going to fight for the first one, we can't really get caught in, like, that bridge, kind of like it was on Nighthaven with Jack on Rafter. It's like...
For the the newer special, anti-runout, and otherwise I think we just need to, you know...
What is the anti-runout?
Like, I'm
gonna cover
you guys. Yeah, and I think like otherwise, so what? Like we need to take piano, Shaiko guys. Don't stand still. Like when we have for control, take it guys and set up for the execute. You know, don't padding the comms guys. If they're gonna go basement, they always have one roamer. So we can do the first for split, and the guy will always walk down brown. He's always gonna walk down brown or gonna walk down white. So if the guy wants to walk down brown, I'm gonna always take the code check route.
Do you still wanna force the first split in case they're playing to Barao long bar to deny the sense? Yeah.
If they're playing, like I can choose. Like I can either walk on the guy long bar and kill him for you.
No, I think you always.
The Shepherd.
Interesting.
Not hurting the crowd there. It is Grobby taking control, saying they're very specific about piano, Shaiko, don't stand still on the soft floor.
I love the way that he said, look, if you need, in this specific situation, if you need to kill this guy, I can walk by long bar and kill him for you. Like, it's one thing to think, oh, I can get a kill here, I can do this thing for myself. It's another thing, if I do this, I will enable you to do that.
Yeah.
I like that teamwork there between Grubby and Sarks.
It's very specific, which I like. I think it's easier to say, guys, very simply, fight with piano, fight with Shaiko. Mindful, do not stand still on soft floor. It's very simple, but it goes a long way. And so much of this comes down to the first step of the round of Cafe. You often find yourself on the window repels, fighting for cigar, fighting for piano, and if you get a foothold in the building and you get that first step accomplished, the round is looking super solid. On the flip side, like we saw how DC lost the majority of their attacking rounds, they never got that foothold. The second they tried to enter, they were dead. When there were repels, they're getting C4'd, and you could never stabilize the rounds. So it feels very European playstyle of Geekay to go for those focus points and talk so much about it. And they've banned both the Mira and the Wamai as well, which supports the same story of the piano and that initial foothold.
True, but it does leave the Kaid on the board here, picked up by Kino, which brings another Nitro cell to an already deadly lineup. 3 Nitros here, aided by the Pulse to get those vertical kills for DZ. The Kaid as well is going to be hard to counter. Yogg will want to breach open the hatch, in particular in the J9O's reinforcing in piano, but it's going to be very hard to do so, especially look at Kino breaching a lot of the floor around the hatch to make it so that it's not possible to put an exothermic charge next to the hatch. It's very nice. Pretty cool. I don't really know how you get that Electroclaw off without Upor sneaking a Twitch drone into sight, though, which would be very hard.
You could possibly get a grenade in between the layers of the floor, but depending on the signal of the chorus, it might not reach. It's a bit tricky. Right now, it's actually on the soft floor next to the hatch, at least for one of them. So.
Well, in which case, that is winnable.
Yeah,
that is
you gotta pick the right side. That's the other issue.
I mean, you can also just use Hibana pellets and destroy that part of the floor if you, you get the guess right.
You can try and fish in the soft floor again. That's why they broke it. So we'll see how they play it out.
Oh, and the second Electroclaw is actually downstairs, protecting the mirror window upstairs on the third floor. Very nice.
Upor has so much to scout for though. Razor Blooms, Goyo Canisters, general information, default cams, and the Kite Claw. So yeah, really pick your targets right now, and obviously big priority is going to be the Kite Claw if you can find it. Actually, I take it back. The big priority there was deliberately the Vulcan Canisters.
He got 3 of them though.
Yeah, and he saw the 4th as well.
Yeah, good value. So now a nade will take down the 4th for sure from Grubby, I expect. Wow, a lot of damage. Unusual to see a player expose themselves to the skylight so early on, but Grubby will go down. The player that said he wanted to go for a kill and take down a guy long by, actually is the first one to fall, and NS from faults to himself.
Pat your own back there. I will say, the DC off that pick, they give up top floor control entirely, letting Geekay get closer and closer to execute. So now it's all about the verticality. 3 C4s, ton of intel. Xkyros here on the corners, looking for the Kaid.
This should destroy the
And this should get it. One of those many Xkyros.
Very nice.
Just pop it over. Oh, they're planting. They're skipping a step. They're just going to go for it.
Yeah, straight into it.
They have no idea.
Yeah, there's no info here from DZ. They really should be. Nitro cells are not used in time. There's only one left. Yogg finds his. NJR looking for the retake. The post plant here is winnable for DZ. Geekay have lost a lot of manpower. And now Kino is looking to try and get on that counter defuse. Is there anybody there from Geekay? There is no answer! It's a retake from DarkZero. Geekay completely pantsed. And the North Americans steal the first round on that defensive side.
So the way that they get into the plant is going off pace, pop the hatch, straight planting. But then, likewise, DC also push forward very quickly, take down the guy who got the diffuser down, and go for an instant counter defuse. Geekay then caught by surprise themselves, thinking that was really quickly. Didn't have the vert, didn't have a guy outside on the bomb site window, and didn't have a player inside a pillar either for the line of sight. The sad thing there is probably a world where you could see that diffuser from pillar window rappel, from red staircase, the soft wall open up. There are so many good positions there, but none utilized by Geekay. They had Upor, I think, top white watching the flank when they were 10 seconds into a post. That's a lack of drone that should be replacing that position.
DC very quickly, good at retakes. We've seen a lot of retakes in the last, all week, really.
I think DC have the most retakes at this event. I'm very sure of that.
That would be a very interesting stat to have.
That we don't have.
That we don't have. One thing I'm seeing a lot of here from DZ is the Pulse, actually, funnily enough. We saw a lot out of them as well on Labs. I wonder if GK will see it as enough of a threat to ban come the 3rd round, but there's a lot of very powerful ops on defense that DZ like getting into. The Pulse is one.
I think the Pulse is a bit of a bait, right? Because let's say you ban the Pulse, they play the Valkyrie, they play the Solace. There's a lot of different substitutes for the Pulse operator. Whereas if you ban the Asami, that's a very niche, very unique operator.
And a great example of an operator that they haven't played as of yet, which is one of the most popular operators on Cafe, the Asami, still yet to be played.
You could also see DC, this would probably not happen from their side, but if they want to do a curveball, ban Brava, start playing Maestro. Cafe is one of the few Maestro maps that we see, especially in APL. From Kinotrope. I like to bring it here.
My homie Carwow.
Yeah. They have had pretty good success with it. There is the counter argument that against GK's playstyle, their explosivity on the attack, I think Meister's been too slow-paced in the server, unlike the Porte, Valkyrie, etc. So maybe a bit risky. For now, though, all about the layers. We got Jaeger on the board with triple ADS stack and Shaiko and Piano. This goes back to what Grubby spoke about. Fight for Piano, fight for Shaiko spot, fight for Pixel as well. Step 1, do not stand still on soft floor. That's what all this will cover.
Good drone work here from GK. Yogg getting a lot of info on this setup. Spotted out the power position spots the 3 mute jammers that are meant to try and stall out drones, haven't successfully done so. Sark's looking for a bit of a lurk from down all the way below in pillars. And now it's his time to move. Bomb side is actually reading, and he's almost inside of it, especially with faults going down.
Actually, had the diffuser here. Imagine.
GK have a gap.
They could send Ask in there and try and go for a plan, but he's so far away on the roof. It does. Uport's in there.
Oh my god. Shotty comes out, traded back by J90. Uport, though, has done a lot of damage. And you're right, GK still have a plant opportunity. I mean, Sarks has gotten so deep into the objective still with no diffuser. As Ask is all the way up on the cigar balcony.
Yeah.
He could try and enter the bomb site. Oh, I think Sarks might have been spotted.
Yeah.
Indeed he has. Well done from that bulletproof camera in the bomb site. However, GK have enough kills here that they are still in favor. NJR tries to make his way forward, but the M76 True wins True for Yogg. It's Genano in a 1v3, and yeah, it just ain't happening. Not happening today, not happening any day of the week. It's another round on the board for GK. 5-3. On their map pick, and DZ starting to feel a bit of pressure. 2 rounds away from losing this match.
DZ kind of is playing into the randomness of GK's playstyle right now, you know? Sark's been to the bomb site, they don't realize, they fight top floor, they allow Uper in on new balcony, getting a kill before they turn their attention towards him, leaving gaps open for the attack. So both new balcony, brown staircase, the bomb site taken completely for free. And the pulse was downstairs, but ineffective. Was walking toward the white staircase, not scanning anything, and that's where the gaps were left open. So DC, it feels like a bit of a communication problem right now in the server. They also don't contest GK in piano like we spoke about, in Shaiko below the skylight, or inside a cigar. So they're giving up so much for free, falling back step by step, falling back step by step. And GK do not care. You give them ground, they happily take it. They do not care about your setups. They will win their gunfights. And when you have NGR playing the Reaper secondary on poles, taking a long-distance gunfight, you know something is wrong. It is probably one of the worst guns in the game for that sort of battle, up against a DMR from the attacker or any ACOG zoom scope. So I want to see DC get into better fighting positions with the right guns, with the right operators, with the right person behind them. NGR Kino now on the DMR/Slock Shotty, looking to get a better percentage in their gunfights. Probably against 3, if not 4 DMRs themselves.
Reloading.
It's going to be a good old bakery take, right? You roll off the double door bottom red. You can jump on in. There is a huge counter, which is going to be NGR on Aruni. The issue is, he's the bakery player. So he cannot go into wedding and punch this barricade, so instead, explosions will happen.
Oh, nice Nitro Cell.
C4.
Yeah, Nitro Cell used to try and take down that Ryora.
Got 3 more doors.
Yeah, the door can be redeployed here. Impacts from Newers could potentially rotate into position. NJR is still actually fairly safe here. EMP from Thatcher misses. Interesting.
For right now.
This Electroclaw is still up and active, which means that Grubby cannot deploy another one of his Selmas.
I mean, if the Captain Fire gets into the mix right now, that could force NGR off this position, and therefore they could try and bait the kill, but finally Yogg into the action. Fire in hand, they're waiting for the push.
False just waiting, biding his time. He's got a crossfire as well with NJR as they do fall back. They sacrifice control of Bakery. The fire from Yogg gains the ground in theory, but not in reality, because GK have not actually moved into Bakery as of yet, and NJR can always just rotate back inside.
Not using more Aurora doors either, so they're not going to be able to jump in the wedding window. They can't fight for prep. There's no shield for that pushing power, so this is GK finally being stuck outside the building. The best spot possible so far for DC.
Here comes Flashbang needs to go out. It's time to get active here into Bakery for Grubby. They go deep. Pistol comes out for Ask. Finds his kill. Backstab from Socks. Oh, J90, Newers and Kino, be careful. You're losing all control. You're losing sight of this game as GK start to run away with it. Sarks, another one. A flank from J90 to take down Upor is not enough as of yet. Geekay still have that bakery control. Ask with a DMR, Sark's waiting for the close range engagement with that shotgun. As he gets back, rifle in hand. J90 needs to take that fight sooner or later. Do him and Newers lash out, or do they wait patiently?
Tough spot to be in right now. Separate fights across the board for both teams. 2 teams, 25 seconds. Newers, as long as he's alive, a plan cannot go down.
It's up to Ars to win this gunfight. That's what he needs to do right now. Knows exactly where he is. But now he has to find both of them. Out comes a pistol. Another one for him. But J90 will trade back 3K. For the big man on DarkZero. It's enough to keep their hopes alive for a little bit longer.
Well done, NGR. Finding a pick, staying alive, sidestepping the fire, the EMPs, and all that counter util inside a bakery. That puts DC in a winning position. No one overstepped. They took the fights relatively together for the first time here on Cafe's defense side. Operator Bands, we spoke about it briefly earlier. Asami worked for every single bomb site. That was like one of the logical ones. That or a specific niche counter in like the Pulse or the Valkyrie for intimidation. And on the other side, Grim being targeted away, which I don't think GK will be too bothered by, but with the Solid Snake Band paired with the Grim, it can be tricky to get information from outside the building to the inside, with the exception of drones.
Look, if these rounds are going to come this close for DZ, I'm still a little bit scared for them. GK got in so quickly. Can I just say, Ask Man, going with the pistol for 2 fights? The mechanical confidence to sacrifice an automatic weapon and go with the pistol. I mean, you're realistically only winning those fights if they're headshots, which they both were, by the way, but he chooses the pistol because he can sprint faster while it's equipped.
Also no zoom scope for the first close quarter engagement fast at AS speed. A lot of upsides there for the pistol. We saw Grobby do the same thing as well earlier.
10 seconds remaining.
Just looking here, tertiary bomb set again, attempted by DC. Newers getting on the solids again. They always want something in the information department, whether it's going to be the Pulse, the Valkyrie, the Maestro, the Solis, and it's about finding where the plan is going down and when the plan is going down. Also, it gives Newers more roaming freedom. He'll figure out where the drones are, if it's being watched, it's an air jab or a claymore for a jump out to play that disruptive playstyle. So this could just be DC getting a bit more active in the server. What I think they need to do is to fight for map control and not give up the space and just keep falling back.
A lot of work to be done on Cafe, especially with these Mute Jammers and the Solus. It's very hard to clear this entire map. From the top down, they will begin, as is often done on Cafe. No Mute Jammers here in Cigar as of yet, though, which is typically where we see DZ put them. So GK get a lot of free info. They spot out the Two-Brow and a second player, the Smoke, all the way on that top floor on Cocktail. Grubby makes his way inside. How much will GK look to try and actually clear this top floor in a hard sense, and how much will they look to just pressure it? They really do love going for these split-through style pushes, these 3-2-1s.
Probably a half take, right? You take Cigar upstairs, lock down the flanks with the Nomad, and kind of work your way down the staircase, pressure the bomb site, and just kind of look for a gap. With the Selma going off, though, either want to fight for top floor control or just apply that fake pressure, say, hey guys, look at me. Meanwhile, Grubby sneaking up below Cocktail.
Nice Two-Brow.
Looking to cut the top floor in half. Volt's waiting. C4 downstairs, pre-placed with a cat call to pop it. DC know that they're ratting around, but they're unsure of where the push is coming from and when it's coming.
Oh, this is a critical gunfight here. Grubby misses his chance, goes for the re-peek, but DC will fall back regardless. Downstairs, and Grubby eventually goes down. I'm not sure whether he can be revived here. Backstore. There's all nitro cells finished off now for DZ as they look to try and play Plantanile. And they drop all the way down into the ground floor for Kino and Newers.
It's a tricky round to break here for GK, and they spent 2 minutes doing so, but I will say this was a successful roam clear. Only getting injured from Grobby, now revived back to 20 HP. They have 4 calls in pocket and plenty of util as well, but getting into a plant spot again will be challenging. Newers downstairs can solo lock that down. Well, they have burned away all 3 C4s. Only 1 Tux Babe here left from Geno Smoke, but I think GK, they have to get a kill to get comfortable enough to go for a plant attempt.
Yeah, you're right. Late round plant will be likely denied by Newers in the basement. He's all the way in prep at the moment.
There.
So yeah, he can deny a plant inside mining. 2 players in dining at the moment. DZ really falling back, wanting to play plant denial as the main priority. They've got info on where it's going down. Is he going to deny this plant? Newers, you're going to let it go down. Instead, it's going to be a retake. They're favoring the information, but DZ march towards the bomb site slowly. Newers bides his time instead of exposing himself early, but eventually he will go down. It's a 2 versus 4 post now. The Sarks and Uport all the way on the top floor. We've seen DZ get these ninja defusers before, and bad timing from Uport puts all on the Italian. 1v3 now. As he gets swung by the first player, Kino will go down to 3k in the round for Sarks. He just needs to buy his team a little bit more time. The J90 will say not today. It's a retake for DZ and a chance now to tie the scoreboard for the North American squad.
Such a hard round once again. The GK get into a planned position, but Uport unsure about the top floor. Never fully cleared it. DZ retook piano control, didn't have the verticality, and then he gets caught. Bad timing, swinging between the cocktail breach that they made themselves and the top right rotation. Sarks, I mean, was making magic happen finding those 3 picks, but such a challenging round. Plant goes down, York dies immediately after. Such a tough spot to be in. But what did I say? DC, they're amazing in post plans. DK, in response, will call their own tactical timeout. Okay.
Yeah. Now open, you have every open to actually make it faster. So it's going to be reading right now, right?
Yeah.
I think you can bring heavy utility because they're not like taking the top floor heavy. They're always leaving, even playing the shields, but watch out for the C4s and do the simple execute. I think it's going to work out. And always remember the win condition. Flanking pillar, flanking brown, flanking white and red. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Listen to each other, guys, and it is fucking set.
So a switch up, get on the shields, stabilize the rounds, recognize a DC. They keep falling back and surrendering map control. The thing is, it's a lot easier said than done on Cafe. You're in a very small box. We call it hell in a cell. Once you drop down the red hatch, and we saw it there from GK and Grobby, they spent so much time slowly inching forward, juking C4s, trying to stay alive, and there just wasn't enough time at the end of the round to get down a solid game plan for that plant.
Yeah, and DZ really love giving up that ground and then going for retakes, which is what we've seen 2 successful retakes now on that exact same bomb site play out very similarly. So GK, just because you can see a plant doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Even the fact that Newers didn't rush to try and deny it just tells you, speaks volumes about how confident DZ are on those retakes. I have to admit though, these rounds have been close, and there have been a few there that DZ have won where I really feel like GK had the upper hand, particularly that kitchen bomb site defense earlier, which is where DZ will have to go next round. Win or lose this bomb site, they could likely go back to kitchen. GK, a chance now to win on the other middle floor bomb site, which in this case is reading. And again, they got baited into entering the bomb site very quickly last time on this side. But then DZ made a retake work.
Again.
Seems to be the playstyle here for DZ. I wonder what they talked about in their tactical timeout.
Well, we'll never know. So prompted here. Probably Newers wants to jump out the window and go for a play, but you're 5-5. You're playing the Solace, like your value goes up the longer you're alive for, because late round is where you get to shine. I saw a Razor Bloom there below the red hat, so if GK aren't careful, dropping down could lead to a death or a lot of damage happening. There is no Twitch drone to simplify that situation. DC though in much more front floor positions, falls beneath the skylight in cigar box. Looking to stop the initial drones from entry and just shot Grubby's drone as well. Sarks an outside rappel looking for an angle. GK didn't get in that shield either. So someone has to enter the building and make that initial play, and right now they're all just going fishing.
Yeah, I do wonder for GK, what is their linchpin? Oh, a run out here from Newers. I think that the player has... Oh, no, the player is still on the rappel. Uport goes down. Good read there. Well played from Newers. That is a worthwhile risk to take at the start of the round. GK have already struggled on these last 2 attacks in 5v5s. Now they're fighting from 1 player down.
Not sure about this attack though. Doesn't feel like there's any like fangs, no tooth. Nope, there down goes Grubby, just injuring Cigar because General just retook it from Piano, just walked on in because no one's on the window repels. Things are falling apart. Very clear for GK.
Next kill needs to come out now from J90. 10 kills to his name so far. Going up against Sarks, but the R4C will win the battle. Dodges the Thorn Trap as well. Sarks looking good now, and Ask finding one. Low HP on 2 players here from GK. They've even upped the numbers.
They're so low on health though. Ask like 1 bullet, Sox maybe 2 will get the job done. Yaga might have to step up as the Ibana player. Onyx Kairos in pocket. The irony is that I don't even think Heartbreaching will matter this round because all of DC, once again, they fall downstairs, use the C4's verticality, C4 tosses them up. Because they got the scanner, they can wait for the right call, the right timing. But it leaves just one extra C4 now in the pocket of Injar himself.
Yeah, low HP on both Ask and Sarks means they're extra vulnerable to those C4s. However, both go out without dealing any damage to them. Surely a plant here, slow and steady, is not possible for GK. 24 seconds, Yogglers to try and make it happen. DZ, we've seen they're so good at retakes. It's going to be a white stairs flank here for NJR with a shotgun in hand. He will take down Sarks, and Yoga, his plant will be denied. It's Ask in a 1 versus 3. He has been red, he has been taken down, and DZ have run 3 straight to find map point of their own.
Running the gauntlet, down but not out. DC finally fighting back and finding the momentum on the defensive side. It's a rough start on the attack, but there's one thing these guys can do from North America. It is setting up obstacles and playing the game of adaptation. And that early disruption there, getting Newers on the solo has been such an instrumental play. Then they got the layers, the C4s, the verticality, the plant denial, and the final round in the 3v3 is a good synchronized push. NJR pushing above, taking down the cover, enabling Kino to push downstairs, take down the planter. That is exactly how you want to leverage it in an even numbers situation as a defending team. The third member was flanking Pillar. So if one of the flanks are open, that's a freebie. And even if they're watching all the angles, you're giving yourself the best shot possible at coming out victorious. And it's all down to communication and timing, which DC, they're looking sharper and sharper at.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot more on the same page in these last couple of rounds here. Really just the pacing, right? Like knowing, okay, all at the same time, we fall back, we don't contest. All together, we get aggressive. And that's what has really impressed me with DZ in these last couple of rounds. And now they've got the confidence to lash out. Newers has a teammate on that default cam. He almost lands shots into the body of that player coming from the Christmas market. But no, doesn't land in the end.
So the wall opened up from Garage. Again, just applying that phantom pressing. Hey, maybe a backstab, maybe not. Grobby on the Brava. Again, for the Aruni gates, much more effective than a Twitch Stone.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, that Aruni gate can actually still be reactivated by the defense. So, you know, you're still going to have to... It does expose, like, particularly the Aruni barrier on the main bakery wall, right? Once that gets hacked, if the defense activates it, then...
It'll still burn.
It still has to be burned, or if the attacker walks up to it, it will disappear, which means you get a warning when you're getting peeked. So it kind of acts like when you sometimes see a player's shadow, you get a warning that they're about to peek.
Sheer warning indeed.
Yeah, like this orange one right here, like that's a GK one. As soon as a GK player comes up to it, and it's going to open, and DZ will know there's a player there. Oh, this is an aggressive peek from Grubby.
Has to be careful.
He's in a crossfire right now, but I don't think they realize it. DZ have actually fallen back. Surely not. Surely he's not able to sneak all the way through here. They're passing each other like ships in the night. Newers needs to win this fight, but he goes down. Big one from Grubber to try and send his team to overtime here. Kino also under a lot of pressure, but Janono wins his fight. Assisted by that Goo Mine, but the Grismont will not save him. As Grubby goes down, out finding his kill. Nitro Cell misses. NJR all of a sudden is the last hero for DarkZero. 1v3. And the OG of this DZ roster must take matters into his own hands. It's a full split now from GK as they flip over to the other side of the map. Sarks with that defuse in pocket.
Open up the freezer wall to get a safe way into the bomb side, knowing that the team is against it. They cut the cross in half. Yakin finds the final frag. And all thanks to Grubby, who just finds himself in the middle of the building, middle of the bomb site, opened up the round for GK. That was the exact pick that they needed.
Overtime on the docket for DZ and GK here. The North Americans are not given their chance to send it to our third map, not just yet. Chalet is calling, but GK want to get it done in 2.
At this point, I really don't know what to expect. I really wanted to see the shield come to life here for GK on the attack because it changes the possibilities of a push. I mean, the way that Grubby finds this opening and a second shortly after. That gives Geekay a realistic shot at this. But that's thanks to him timing it correctly, finding the gap and saying, guys, just wait a second, I'm gonna get this kill, then we push together. Full commitment, it was beautiful. But right now, DC are used to it. And they just didn't have an Illumin in that location to shut down Grubby. So I'm thinking a little bit, what if they start playing the shields on the attacking side? That gives you a different win condition, a different way of playing the game, a different way of taking gunfights and gaining information, especially with that Solid Snake banned away. Shepard mentioned it too. Ask right now is hovering the fuse. It could be a shield. It could also just be a gun.
I think the fuse is a huge pick here. Not going to commit to it though. Ask instead goes for the flank watch. Look, fair enough. Double flank watch with the way that DZ have been playing retakes. I'm not surprised at all to see Geekay wanting to lean into that. Into overtime, and DZ remain on this defensive side, and we've seen 6 rounds of it in a row, a lot of which they've looked very strong. It was a 4-2 defensive split, remember, for both of these halves so far. DZ, in theory, favored here. But you never know, Geekay, they have such an aggressive split way of attacking. It can be very hard to predict. New is still on this Solus, wants to go for a run out, knows there's an air jab there, but wonders if he can impact it and then go for it regardless.
So they're reading into Newers' playmaking, the game of disruption, worried about the garage door, worried about the bakery door. And if the air jab is mispositioned, it can get shot quite easily. And I think Ask is just kind of checking for it. He knows that something is up. We'll have to drone it himself, actually. So it's Newers on the bottom floor looking for disruption. It's going to be Inji on the middle floor looking for a C4 kill. And Geekay is still all outside the building. No way in yet.
Tunnel visioning, I wonder, from Ask on that flank watch as the electrical gets EMP'd on out by the Thatcher. Geekay can focus up on that hard breach from Yogg. And I'm not sure if it has actually opened up the wall that they were intending to do so. No, and it looks like a juggle here from Kino as well. EMP hasn't come out yet from Newport. Yogg up preparing. Here's the EMP, and Yogg does toss out that. Oh, perfect. He tosses it out and immediately goes for the peak, while Newers will eventually kill Ask, who perhaps focus a little bit too much on that flank, contesting Bakery itself. It does leave things even, but Geekay have made good progress.
Yeah, it's all about, you know, getting further and further into the map, going 1-for-1 trade. As long as you gain map control, it can get further in your strategy, is going to be worth it. And Ask had already spent all his utility. He might have had some flashbangs in pocket, but all the air jabs were pre-placed. Now Sarks can break apart the floor on the ceiling. Look in towards the bomb site, in towards the hallway, supporting them. But we saw Geekay plant previously, and the round still fell apart. Newers, low on HP, could always fall back towards Bakery, look for that plant denial again, but he's out of impact grenades. Doesn't have a primary shotgun, so he's limited in exactly how he can find those angles. There's only two C4s left remaining, but one being on a pulse shotgun.
Yeah. That said, we've seen NJR very deadly with both the Reaper and the Shoddy. All the way down in the basement, it's Faults.
Oh, that's an angle.
Yeah, falling back. Again, like you said, those C4s in pocket. Late round is going to be a headache here for Geekay. Whether it comes down to a plant win condition or the post plant. DZ are so good at denying both. Flashbang comes out, in for the drop. Close to the bomb site now. Yoga is actually on safe floor, but a C4 tossed on out could still kill him. He looks to try and fake it out. Kino gets baited. He goes down. 2 C4s still up and alive. NJR might just save the round. Yogg goes down. Geekay are so close, but they need to get that defuse back up again. Sarks looking for the plant, the re-attempt. Grubby finds one. Can he find the second? NJR's just got to deny the plant. The DZ to get themselves yet another map point here on Cafe.
Oh, it comes down to the wire once again. It's so stressful, and Ask falling early meant they didn't have another player that could watch the downstairs floor for the C4, so instead Yogg is running back and forth, juking them, baiting them, etc., but does fall eventually. DC's playstyle switch-up has worked tremendously well on the defensive side. The big question that lingers, though, can they get this done on the attack? Or will it be a defense crux to get it over the line?
Oh, question remains indeed. Look, their attack was very rough. They won the first round of this map, which was that really perfect, thorough attack onto kitchen service, the basement. And then they won one reading room attack as well, which was pretty close. They got the bomb down, and then there were 2 players still alive at the end of it. Geekay bringing out all the stops. We see a Maestro make its appearance on the basement here. We see the combo of the smoke and the Goyo. It's going to delay a lot of time, as will the Tuberal. The Warden Ask is actually hiding his Maestro here. We saw a lot of Brava picks from GK on their side, but none yet from DZ. If they don't have a Brava, I'm not sure they'll have many counters to try and deal with these Evil Eyes. And as we see the operator picks, the all but confirmed here from DZ, they don't have many picks here that will help out with those Maestro Evil Eyes.
There we go, they got locked on in. A little bit curious on the approach here, given the operator lineup, because it's showing a lot of different things. Yeah, Newers took damage the moment the round started.
Was that team damage then?
I'm not entirely certain. Had spawned Christmas Market, so it must have been. Can I shoot the deep I can, maybe?
Yeah, that'll be...
Although, with that being said, he spawned solo in Paris, so
Tuberau shot him there, Yoga.
Okay.
Went for a spawn peek. Very nice. Yoga and Newers, old teammates back in the Oxygen days. Went to SI25 in Boston. And, well, took a few scalps, knocked out G2, knocked out Shopify Rebellion, beat SSG back when False was playing for that team. The rivalry continues in the server.
Yeah, I've seen, I guess it goes back to the first kind of execute, right? Take top floor, do the vert, then try and make a decision. Do you go for a back attack from the hatch and VIP? Do you go back towards Bakery? Last time they went Bakery, there was a clash in their way. That stopped the entire round, but that's not the case for this one. It's going to be a Maestro instead from the sim player of Ask. So, I would say DC have all the options, because both attacks can completely work. It comes down to execution. Can they be perfect one more round? Can they get this done on the attack? They got so much time to work with. They got full map control in the roam game, doing the vert, getting the hard destruction done. They even have air jams and flank watch late round.
Setting breach charge.
Hatch open. And a soft breach on the floor. Perfect, so much redundancy. Breaching charges from NJR. Interesting to see that Kino's actually brought breaching charges as well for extra redundancy. It does mean there are fewer smoke grenades on the DZ lineup. Perhaps they're not looking to try and use smokes at all with the Warden in play.
And also with the Blitz, right, you got a safe shield to just get into the action and block the lance of sight. Also, I think they were fearing that the Ram Booker drones will get impact trick because there's 4 impacts in play, and then you get almost no vertical down. So this gives you that
a lot of vert.
Ton of vert right now. And now they're ready for the attack. The question is, which side will they go for? And there's 2 ways to play it. Kino can drop the hands, go for a plant, or he can walk down the staircase and fight the Tubra of Yogg inside of VIP, and with that kill, they can push forward, but Yuba finds the first pick.
The Tubra, though, will slow down this push here with those Zoto canisters. He also has an Nitro Cell he could use, and here it comes. Tosses on out, gets frozen by the Tubra freeze. Can he get enough damage here on the Blitz? Can he peel back enough to try and stay alive? NJR certainly cannot survive as Kino finally gets damage and taken down by Yogg. The masterclass of the Tuberau in VIP, and somehow manages to survive as well. After Newers shot him in the feet, NJR not likely to be picked up. The diffuser is still on the ground. Yogg has held his position to perfection. It's going to be a flawless round here from GK. As J90 getting tattered by that Maestro Evil Eye. There's nothing for him to do. He can't march forward. He can't march back. All he can do is hope for an exit frag. But Grubby says, I don't want to give you the chance. I'm going to hunt you down. J90 saves the KD. GK, though, they save the round.
So we got to go all the way to 15 for the final round here in Cafe. It is going to be a defender's paradise. But the issue is, this is the end of the road, the final moment, and GK will be on the attack. If they want to be victorious and take this 2-0, they have to win, or it seems like almost an impossible side.
And no matter which bomb site DZ decide to go to on the defense here, GK have not successfully won it.
They've been so close, man. They've even planned it twice. They've been like right there at the finish line and then countered by DC.
It's because of that playstyle switch up from DZ that you mentioned, playing really slow, playing to fall back, playing to retake, playing that clock. It has been the 6th player in the server for DarkZero.
They're doing it. This is such a classic. We go 7-7 and Clash gets brought out as the wild card. It's the curveball to change things up here. And they get the Echo as well. This gives DC retake options on the staircases, re-aggression to VIP, into Bakery, to try and deny a plant late round, etc. It gives them many different ways of playing it, which will be a surprising factor because this shouldn't be about falling back step by step. This should be about DC choosing where and when the fight will happen, but as the defending team.
And they're getting rid of the Zof, which means that they're not going to have the concussions to try and counter the Clash. They're also getting rid of the Capital, so GK do not have much util here to counter the Clash. You could argue the Thatcher can help, but it doesn't do a massive job. The big target hit for Sarks, he won't know it yet, are those Yokai drones. He's probably going to be focusing up his Brava drones on getting those Aruni gates, but if he could hack a Yokai drone, that would mean everything. The Yokai drone could actually then be used to counter the clash.
The other side is, I think, a lot of pressure here on York, right? Because this setup with the Aura, with the Brava, with the EMPs, they want Baker control, like we've seen so many times attempted from them. York, who has frag grenades. Okay, so he has the frag grenades because he gets smokes, I guess, from the Aura and the Brava. Okay, then they get a bit of everything, but you gotta enable him with the smokes and get in Bakery and probably try and take a fight. Because that can just walk on in, they won't see where he's attacking them from. But it's so much pressure on a single operator. He's gonna jump in right now.
Oh, York
the first.
finds the opening kill. Thank you to the smokes. Geekay have their chance. The best chance we've seen from them. 5v4 against DarkZero, who have looked to try and delay these rounds as much as possible. Well, guess what? Your smoke is gone.
There's those smokes in pocket now for the attack. 3 more, in fact. But York is so low on health. Any pre-fires through a smoke grenade will likely kill or injure him.
Oh, no.
And that is a big win con for GK. They have good intel, though. Sox have so many drones positioned inside the building of VIP for that backstab potential they found. So distraction in Bakery, smoke grenade, try and breach the wall, get that pressure. It's all about making DC move and buy into the fact this attack will be a frontal when they're having somebody rotate later on. But they're all 5 here by Bakery.
Problem remains. What do you do about that clash once you get up nice and personal? Well, you don't have your Thatcher anymore.
They found NJR.
NJR has been traded on back. That was the Aruni, the
now
deadly
Sox
DMR.
backstabbing.
The backstab from Sarks must have a big impact as he tries to make his way through reception, but I think Fultz has rotated over to watch it, which means that it's on Yog to try and make his way forward on the bomb site. GK still have the numbers advantage, but they can't figure out how to go in and plant because DZ keep on retaking.
Not a lot of drones left remaining. No easy way to push on in. Sarks' gate waiting for him, but hacked by him himself. They need to sell this attack on the front side to enable the space for Sarks to get this backstab kill, but it doesn't work out. Fultz finds Yog.
Big play from the clash. Fultz knows how to have an impact on this operator, and now he's been baited back again. As the Riora gate opens up, maybe they can get a line of sight, but no, it just allows the clash a little bit more vision and a little bit of a flank. They might be able to close that door behind the clash and trap him. Then there won't be any escape for Fultz. Surely that's the play here for Upor. He needs to try and close that gate, tries to get the damage out of the clash. Bikino jumps up, Sarks a trade. Krubby and Sarks now have to have an impact, but Fultz still continues pushing deeper and deeper. J90 needs to help him out as the damage comes through onto the shield, but J90 will prevent Sarks on the bomb site from hunting him down. Krubby has no choice. DZ, I've dug deep on Cafe. We're gonna need all 3 maps in this series. Chalet is a cold place to go to.
Position, obviously you think of Fireplace towards that library side. You think of maybe what's going to be in front of Master Window, Solarium, all of these positions that are going to be removed by a Capitao, by a Grim, this time of operators.
Well, picks and bans on your screen here. Final map coming up for GK Esports and DarkZero with $85,000 added to your prize pool if you take 3rd place.
Getting rid of the castle just to make it a little bit easier for them to hold those outside positions, so I don't have to rotate it around as much to get to clear him off.
Yeah, Geekay have abused the castle crazy, like crazy on EML. They have all these castles set up stores, library, so it's not a surprise to see it banned. And as we mentioned before, Iconic, the Grim is getting removed. So strong those bees to remove library, top solarium, towards master window, bathroom as well. So all of this, it's pretty much classic bans, but that castle ban, that is 100% a target ban on Geekay.
The zombie's going to come out here in full force. Expect to see that a lot on the side of Geekay.
Kino already talking a little bit, getting ready for the strats. We know Callout's got the boys ready on DarkZero, but GK Esports, it's not a mistake that they're here in this moment, fighting for 3rd place at EWC. Let's send it back over to our casters for our final map.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's time to get into it. We already know that Brazil will take the crown here at the Esports World Cup.
Know that?
We do know that. Our 2 teams.
That's such a shame.
Our 2 teams in the grand final are Brazilian, but who of NA or EU will stand beside them on that podium? Will it be DarkZero representing North America or GK representing mostly EU, a little bit of NA thanks to Yog, a little bit of Brazil thanks to Ask sneaking on in there. It settles it on Chalet. Of course, it's been a bit of a wild series so far. Each team taking the opposition's map pick. As we dig into the first round, bans have flown on by as the analysts picked apart already. Not common to see the castle ban. DZ throwing a few curveballs Geekay's way.
I love it. Again, all about the structure and setting up the map. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Asami could be a third option later on as well to like triple down to that strategy. It would make Chalet just feel impossible to play in any strong positions on defense. Maybe forcing out a Clash or a Mirror to like kind of substitute it. But for now, one or two operators. Fly and the castle. And again, the Monster the Grim just going through every single time. So much lethality here though from DC. The Finger, the Capital, the Solid Snake, they can get very explosive in the server very quickly. But first, the smoke grenade to go off.
Impacts.
Selma, but getting impact trick denied by Grubby.
Well played. How much?
I heard being tossed down.
What was that? Electroclaw. Mid-round Electroclaw, hey?
Yeah.
Interesting. No util here on the attacking side to try and counter that Electroclaw, but sometimes all it takes is an F2, and Ask will swing by. Nice kill. Also the Frost going down. I mean, that reveals to DZ, be careful of your window jump-ins, otherwise you may fall. Ooh.
I like this
one.
JNNO just like holding down the middle of the building here from West Main, just kind of snuck in, saying, I got so much map control, guys. We can now flip the attack towards that area, maybe. Because they got Trophy. NGR finds Grubby as well towards Mezzanine, so the roam extension here is completely falling apart. And this means that GK will feel pressure from every angle.
While Cafe was very defender-sided, Chalet is very much the opposite story. DZ starting out on what many would consider the favored side. And they are looking very good at picking apart these defenses, picking apart these players. It's a second kill with the LMG Finka as Upor finally gets the first one. Low HP on both Fultz and Kino now as DZ have to slow down for a brief moment. Upor though, oh, hello, right next to each other. He managed to find one before he's traded back. It's a 3K with the LMG. Very nice round there from DarkZero.
Off me a bit of Finger. Not sure if the stream saw it, but emptied his whole magazine into a dead body afterwards. So, you know how it goes. Bit of BM in the server, doesn't hurt anybody.
As we said, these teams know each other very well. Despite playing in different regions, we've got former pro players. We've also got a Brazilian on each squad, an American on each squad, 4 Americans on DZ, 1 American on GK. This was such a funny moment.
To be fair, wouldn't you count Kino as an American, by the way?
I think you should ask him.
That's a fair.
He's only played Siege in North America.
Like, so let's say you were to like make a team and you had like very specific like region locks.
Yeah.
Would you not say that Alama would count as a European player in EML?
Yes.
Because he's been there for. I think
that does not make him not a Brazilian.
No, he is still a Brazilian, but for the sake of like, I guess that's a different conversation.
Well, when we've had conversations about having like region locks, because obviously we have some, like we have no import rules, right? No, but we do have like, for example, we used to have a all Brazilian team in the Asia League, and we still have an all Brazilian team in the APAC North League, right? And so people have talked about, should we have a region lock? If we did, would a player like Alamau or a player like Kino, would they count as Brazilian or would they count as European and North American? Because that's where they played. And I think it should be where you've played for the last 3 years, where you've spent the most of your time for the last 3 years.
Definitely like a bit of a clock saying after X amount of time, you're now a native player to this region.
Yeah.
Because you've earned that spot, so to speak. I think in other titles do the same in League of Legends.
So if Alamau wanted to go and play in Brazil, he would count as one of the restricted imports.
Also, if you go back, you would.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because you just move.
Oh.
Like Virtue would no longer be an APAC player after he spent that long on G2.
Interesting.
Doesn't mean he's not Australian.
Apparently it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, Virtue went on to retire instead, unfortunately. Didn't quite make it.
Doesn't have to denounce his Australian citizenship just to go play for G2.
You didn't feel betrayed at all when he did it?
No, I think he got upgraded.
Grubby injured, meanwhile Mezzanine. Saw a lot of tweets about him against FaZe, I think it was, saying that he's one of the greatest Mezzanine players right now in the world, and 2 rounds in a row, struggling that spot, getting countered by DC. And I love how much split pressure DC are doing right now, right? They get an injure onto Mezzanine, but they don't attack it. They're joining the middle of the building, West Main, Trophy, joining Library, Neurus inside a bar, Gaming Room just holding down the middle of the building as well. They're just doing a bit of nothing. But it feels like, for GK's perspective, they're doing a bit of everything. They are everywhere in the server. Nothing feels free. But look at this. Right
nice
by
camera.
the bomb site. Droning it, checking with the scanner as well. And because they got Neuros in bar, he can go for a backstab once they pressure bomb site.
Yeah, NJR is using the SAM cams as well from the Zero to try and get information. Put one on the bomb site. Neuros is deep inside.
What about timing?
Is retake for GK. It's going to be the name of the game here once this plan starts to go down from DZ. 5v5. But GK are in some pretty unusual positions. If DZ overplay their hand,
GK have a good read though. Like they know that Neuros is in bar, 100%. And they got verticality on the bombs that denying the plant, so not worried about that either. But now Kino and Ninja will make their way into deep kitchen.
When will the plant go down? Well, they need to try and put some pressure on the top floor. Genino will do that. He'll take down 2 players on that top floor with the F2. He needs to try and escape. However, the jump out from Sarks will take him down. Plant has been confirmed, but GK actually still hold the numbers advantage. A retake is very challenging though, with how exposed this map can be. The Nitro Cell expended to create Vert means that he can't use it for the player on the window. Good cut from Faults, who can now quickly rotate down to Trophy. Is this defuse possible to be counter-defused without exposing yourself to outside? I'm not entirely sure. Faults and NJR both in the building now. NJR just around the corner as Yogg and Ask need to find this kill, but they also need to get on that defuse. There is no time left. Faults finds the first one, looking for the second. Oh, the trigger discipline! NJR will claim both of their lives and the round with it for DZ.
So beautiful again, just playing. Talked to him in the corner, didn't even move at all, didn't make any sound in the server, letting Faults do all the heavy lifting. Solar Repel, rotates down, goes into Trophy window, says, guys, I'm over here, look at me. Megan NGR, the playmaker. He is now the win condition that you play around. GK, honestly, great attempt there, but they didn't find the plant denial thanks to the outside window pressure, finding 2 injuries, almost a 3rd kill.
Azami there to cut off the windows would have made a huge difference.
Would have been big, would have been nice to have. But both teams, they were so stuck, just waiting for the other team to make the first move for a good, 90 seconds in that round. They knew Neuros was in bar, they knew about the people in Trophy, but they also knew they had the plant denial. And it came down to just one small mistake or one big play from DC side to force the difference.
DZ are a lot better on the retakes on the defense than GK are, and I think a lot of that comes down to understanding that most of the time, the first priority when you're going for a retake is to find kills. It's not to try and get control of the bomb site back again, right? The first target should be those people outside the building who are trying to deny you from counter defusing, like the players on repels, the players waiting, and then you really need to hunt a little bit before you go for that counter defuse. Unfortunately, GK were a bit too slow in doing so. They also lost both of their players upstairs to that window, as you said. That was the really titular moment for GK in the round. Now 2 rounds through, and they haven't even found a defense. I just saw Josh Mills walking by.
Oh, I mean, he must be getting ready for what's to come. They're not too long.
That means that the new season's being revealed very soon.
You know, I actually forgot that was happening when I arrived here.
How could you forget? Aren't you ready for the Shield Buster?
No.
Aren't you ready for your 2 of your 3 most played operators of all time? What's your KD in ranked? 1.94? Not happening anymore.
It's gonna drop, man. No, I haven't played Mud Siege this season for the first time ever, so I felt like we're still in the beginning of the season, but we're at the end.
Right, here we are at EWC for our finals.
Final day today, yeah.
Means it's time. I know the grand final's coming up soon because I just saw Handy's girlfriend and Cyber's family walk on past.
Okay.
Getting ready to cheer on FaZe through that grand final against Furia.
So the drums arriving not too long either, then I'm sure. Also, second round here for Finka on NGR. It's a bit of an unusual pick, but he's 5-0. He's feeling good. Got frag grenades, got the healing capability. You can actually tank the Renegade, just kind of Finka boost yourself as well if you want to.
Faster ADS speed as well is underrated.
You get everything, man. It's all global gadgets, picking all 5 attackers. Fire, smoke goes out, Kino shotgun down steps. The fire is actually in his path right now.
Yeah, Kino wants to try and push his way up from below, but he can't. And wow,
the smoke. Gonna kill him.
They're going to go straight into the fire. Faults kills himself with the fire. A very minor mistake, but a costly one. DZ, though, still erupted onto that top floor successfully. Kino should be able to get that diffuser back, and with that kill onto Ask, that should be it. Cut off completely. Kino finds a second. It sucks. In a 1v4 as he finds the first. Kino finds all 3 with the Reaper. And it's a grim sight now for GK. 3 rounds in a row. They have failed. The final ban of the half will come through. And we need to see a reprisal here for GK.
sooner or later.
Could be a trap operator ban for DC because they're playing the fast entries. Could be the assignment to weaken the map further. And onto the attack, maybe a solid snake. Let's see it. So, oh, Kaid.
Oh, interesting. Well, Geekay decide to ban the solid snake, and immediately after that, we'll take their tactical timeout.
You already know like their play style. I think these 3 rounds we just like understood how they're going to play. So this is like kind of fishing. I think Harvey, you just need to bring more something for the solar wall. We didn't ban ace, and that means they're going to still like abusing that. So it means someone has to start all, or I don't know, like bring some.
Play with the Azami, please. Someone play with the Azami.
Yeah, I think Groovy
just play the yes, I'm gonna play that.
And maybe bring more solids in case like you actually spot what they're gonna do, you know?
Alright.
And play against like together. Like Yoga, don't swing the highway before Harvey tell you like stuff like this, you know? Like play against like together. Don't swing alone.
Should I change the mute for Solis?
No, I play Solis on.
I can't help but feel like for Sarks and Upo on their main stage debut, this team, we're starting to see a little bit of nerves creep on in. Things are getting desperate. Sarks saying, please, somebody play Azami, please. All right, like that's the sound of a team that is panicking. They won the first map very handily. They were pushed deep on Cafe. Now on map 3, they are completely lost on defense, and you can see the GK jerseys in the arena are feeling the same way. But it's exactly what we were talking about, Pengu. Like, if you're not playing with the castle, you're not playing with the Wamai. Like, you need the Azami, you need the mirror, you need to create power positions, you need to give yourself some safety. And, like, GK know it, but they're just not doing it.
And I will say this. This is the great thing about being castle, right? Hindsight. We have that. We have top-down perspective. On Cafe, not trying a single attack around to play the shield for GK. Here in Chalet, like, refusing to play the mirror, the clash, not playing the Asami every single round as you probably should. I'm not sure if that's because you're uncomfortable having a player take that responsibility or take that role, or disrespect, not thinking that they need it up against DarkZero. But Shepard said the same thing that we've been saying. They're just fishing. They're putting out their feelers, they're taking what's free, and GK stop panicking, the round falls apart. DC gets into the setup location, 3-1 fight together, and the round is over. GK have to either disrupt them early on by finding a kill and aggress themselves by choice, or they're gonna have tools to hide behind and protect themselves with, like I keep saying, the Mira, the Asami, the Clash. For this round, they got both the Solos that can disrupt and the Asami that can protect them.
Oh, good Nitro on Aquino though. Hard breach done. No secondary team counter.
NJR wins these.
For DZ. NJR probably should win this one. Up against Yog. Oh, looks away. If Yog swung now, that's a free kill. Oh man. If only he knew. He can surely hear it. He thinks that NJR is looking his way.
Oh, the timing is
Out comes the tuber out. Yeah, the timing is very unfortunate there for, well, both players, I guess. Faults, though, managed to hunt down Ask down below. That's the Solus critical operator in the late round as NJR finally takes a little bit of damage. But he gets the read. One tap. Good night to Yog. 3v4, GK again. We start to see the cracks forming. DZ looking for their 4th attack in a row.
GK solo swinging, looking desperate in the server. NTI is better right now, 6-0. Finger boost popped as well. Healing back Newers to life while he's tracking a player up above.
Bolts from the Vert. Oh, he's going to get a free kill, surely.
Here comes a big boom.
This yellow ping should enable the Vert, but no, the timing is a little bit off. NJR not able to peek at the same time. But they have gone fishing, and they found a few trout. Grubby, though, does shut Newers out of it. Almost find a chance for the second one. That should have been his free kill. On defaults. The bar's not doing him any favors. And a free kill. Sarks exposed, just not realizing that J9O is taking control of the mezzanine. DZ, just when GK thought they had an advantage, DZ rip it back again.
So much floor broken, office wall opened up as well, exterior windows, so much pressure, and GK liking information. They have no clue where the attack is coming from or where the case might be. It's downstairs in Trophy, which means DC are forced to play for kills right now. They got 2 players working together on Ivy, now inside a piano on office door, with Volts backstepping to divert downstairs from Trophy/Solarium.
Entry time for NJR, but Uport finds one. NJR now chasing him down slowly. The LMG.
They're split.
Faults is also coming from the other direction. No more vertical pressure now, but a good pre-fire on the back of the yellow ping. Puts it all on Uport. 1v2. Faults is low, but he can't isolate the fights easily, and NJR will swing to win. It is 4 rounds in a row for DarkZero. They are taking no prisoners. Chalet is their playground.
No parachute, no tag timeout left here from GK. The players themselves in the server have to figure out their issues and their struggles. And right now, why are we swinging this if we're Yogg? I know that they gotta play the game with disruption, but like Shepard said, you gotta peak that fight together. Have a guy contest that off his window from the balcony, then have a guy go off his door, do a 2v1 play, something like that. The solo hero plays, they're great when they're working, but they have not been working so far here in Chalet. Maybe GK overconfident because they had a victory over FaZe on this map, but mind you, Chalet is not a map that FaZe, generally speaking, is like world beaters on. And that could give them some false hope for this map up. I sure expected more, at least. It's a 0-4, heavily favoring DC, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. No. We do see the mirror finally, but I think the mentals are a bit shattered on the side of GK.
It looks shattered. I mean, you look at the players in the server, you listen to that tactical timeout from 2 rounds ago, even seeing GK in the crowd, you know, like, it's so hard to fight back from 0-4 on your defense. And look, I said that Chalet is attacker favored. I do stand by that, but I'm pretty confident that GK would have been the ones that get to pick it, because you look at the round differential from the first 2 maps, right? Yeah. Like GK only lost 3 rounds in the first, and DZ lost 7 on the second. So I would have thought that GK would get the map pick, or rather the side start pick.
What if they didn't?
They chose defense?
Yeah.
Bit of a mistake in hindsight. Uh-oh.
That's what I said as casters. We have the fortune of hindsight.
Did you get it, man? Hey!
He got it. He has the hit confirmation, right? When he hits the camera through the wall. I hope so, at least. Either way, NGR, he's doing some goofy roles right now, right? Playing the finger, playing the zero. This guy has not died yet. He has been a huge playmaker in every single round. Always last alive when it comes down to a low player count, finding those final frags. DC, again, they haven't changed up their playstyles. Again, fishing, getting drones in there, getting into information. And what better operator than Zero? Such a low pick rate operator, but if you can get all those SAM cams across the building, you can just lock down so much. And the yellow pin should get with it as well. Missed opportunity of Newers, could have had a freebie, but he is having good presence, and they might think the window is clear, so if they step back towards the window itself, he could still find the kill.
As Azami is perfectly placed from Grubby as well. Oh,
there it is.
Exposure of Uport. A little bit of ants in his pants, but Sarks with his fight with the shotgun up against Kino. 1 HP, but he survives nonetheless. Nitro Cell prepared now, waiting for the push and waiting for the call from someone that perhaps they are pushing in up above. He doesn't have the info. He blindly blows it, and now Faults is hunting him not too far away. Low HP. Sark should not survive for much longer, but he manages to cleanse it thanks to the mute jammer.
No, it's crazy. If you get a SAM cam, you can actually injure Sark with a zero gadget doing 5 damage right now. Really crazy if that happened. Forces inside. It's time to plant down, actually, but almost no cover.
Yogg should be able to deny this plant, but it gets red. Faults goes for the fake. The plant denial. The Vert positioning now from Yogg. Is there information? Can they find this plant position? It's once again next to the hatch. Faults is going to be able to confirm this plant. Surely DZ in the post will be able to lock it up. GK are once again left scrambling. Almost a shot landing, but Faults managed to get out and survive. And Newers has taken down Sarks. It's an absolute disaster for GK. As Ask is then discovered, Faults will go down. But Yogg cannot have the impact that is required. Newers mops up the final 2 kills with the R4C, and DZ have made 5 in a row on Chalet. They're making mincemeat out of GK.
It's getting very quiet right now from the side of GK in the server and outside. The dream, it feels over. Hope is lost. At every turn, it's DC opening up the kill, getting the clutch, getting the plan, getting the better of GK in every single engagement. Newers 4 kills in that round, by the way. You see how DC, they are so fired up, finally showing some signs of positivity on the player face, because they looked a bit frustrated earlier on Cafe. It's been a hard-fought victory in this comeback. And to think that GK were only 1 round away on Cafe, and that changes absolutely everything. And the very final round was a 3v2 in their favor that falls on NGR, but he then clutched back to win the map. NGR is still deathless.
That's insane.
He has quite literally played 5 rounds gone 7-0, meaning a lot of engagements happening.
5 seconds left before
And he is winning every battle he's in, and he never dies by getting caught off guard.
No, that Finker is a rare sight, but a very welcome one for DZ fans here. NJR, deathless, 7 kills. Geekay left running for the hills. Time to get on your skates here on Chalet because DZ are looking to plow through them. It's another one from Newers, jumping in the window with the pistol. Incessant. Oh, what do you say for GK other than it's Tilt City?
Flow state right there. It's Grobby now can sit back and watch his team lose this round without him. We're seeing Yaga go for a desert spin. I think the mental is chalked completely. There's no team play left in the server. And Newers keeps getting finger boosted back to higher and higher HP, prepping him for another fight later in the round.
Ars just wants his chance to go for a run out. He sees the info, sees the repel, but he second guesses himself. And now up on the roof, Newers is not exposed, but almost catches another player running back. Sark's answering his phone.
He's stuck in a corner now.
Theory trapped.
Doesn't go for the swing either. He knows Kino is inside piano watching him, so instead, with the right timing, does a bit of damage.
Oh my god.
Somehow Kino stays alive.
Yeah, I mean, so many moments like that in this map where GK have surely had the advantage in the gunfight, but they just fumble it, and DZ somehow get to survive. They look to survive every single round of the attack. Upor must go down. He will fall. Ask in a 1v2, the lone man. But GK is the Brazilian. As Kino's back up on his feet, thanks to the Finker boost from NJR. Nitro Cell finds nothing. Out comes the M1014. This shotgun can pack a punch in close range. Can it get the multi-kill? Sees the... Hello? Ask!
Does you not see them?
Turn your goggles back on, mate. You can't see anything. Time to get some glasses. It's a 1v3 on the retake, and DZ
They're gone.
have gone back outside. They have evaporated back into thin air. Might spot the first one, but NJR, untouchable! 8 kills and not a single death to his name. It is 6 rounds in a row for DarkZero.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome, bro. That was fucking epic.
I'll tell you what, fellas, last fucking Bay of Hail getting tossed in was a good pull and a crank, man. Good decisiveness. What do you know about that?
Yeah, what do you know?
It's a great last attack effort.
What do you know? Not taking it serious just turns into absolutely floatable.
Just turns into
Straight content.
Like who would have guessed, bro?
Who would have guessed?
Lore, and it's just like what that. Bot just hopped in a window.
We'll talk about it though. It's a new thing. We haven't really learned that yet.
We haven't really talked about it before. You're right. We'll debrief it after the break.
We go over that a couple more times.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a few more times.
Again.
Port gap again.
The only thing I'll say as well is on this defensive side, they're gonna be playing with emotions. So just like be a little more hyper aware of just like the crazy shit early. I mean, honestly too, it'll be a great round to spawn peek like this first round back, just because they're gonna be flying on a spawn. If I had to guess, like they're gonna be trying to get it done right now.
Yeah,
I'm hearing you.
Do you think they're gonna be trying to get it done, or you think they're gonna be shit?
Like already, like we play bad, so let's ignore that. I mean, bad half, but we still have one more half to do.
Yeah. Let's go, guys. Time to shine, baby.
Yeah, I think the best we can do is like treat like treat as a screen.
Yep. Shit, we got 6 more rounds.
Don't forget to communicate with each other, and let it.
Yeah.
Let's get this overtime. Bro, forget this. They are not playing like this threat.
I just want to check it, you know.
I mean, you're gonna check the ghost threat. They are not doing that. They are, of course, they prepare stuff. So just treat like a screen. Get your info with your drone. Communicate with your teammate.
Treat it like a scrim, is what Ask says. The most experienced player on the team. And that's all GK have to do right now. Look, this could be the last round of the Esports World Cup for this team. It could be the end of the road. It's hard to be motivated right now. And the stark contrast between these two rosters. DarkZero, on the other hand, having a laugh and said, hey, how about that? Turns out all it took was for us to not take things very seriously, and then everything would come easy. The GK, it's much weaker spirits, but you do just have to treat it like a scrim.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a very tough spot to be in, and you know the silence on the GK side, it was deafening. They're sitting there in their own heads, and someone's got to break that silence and just ask, like you said, say, guys, treat like a scrim, do these things. They're not going to do the strat that we prepped for. They're going to do whatever. On the other side, DC laughing.
Hey guys, go for a spawn peek.
Go for a spawn peek. They're going to fly at the spawn. Yeah, exactly.
Coach says.
And also, I love to saying they're going to be playing
man.
with a bit more emotion. So expect the unexpected, right? It's such a good point because it's not going to be coming down to a regular round of siege anymore.
No,
that was gone a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure, and especially 6-0 up on a DZ attack, right? Like now on defense, they can afford to take every risk. They can afford to meme a little bit. You know, you got 6 match and series points. A lot of money on the line and a spot on the podium here at the Esports World Cup. And Geekay in the crowd looking fairly dejected. The club championship points up for grabs, of course, means something, but the difference between 3rd and 4th place is almost $100,000 US.
Yeah. Also, there is a world here where India will finish this game deathless.
Oh, that would be a flex.
9 kills, 0 deaths, and 5 assists.
The assist game is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he did play 0, so maybe he got a little sippity-sappity.
There's no way. There's no way.
A little sippity-sappity.
I don't know how he's getting 5 assists. That's actually almost more impressive.
He's obviously missing a shot.
But he still has 9 kills.
Yeah, so he's also hitting them.
That's pretty good. Tagging everybody up and not dying. So it's not like he gets, you know, sometimes you get a lot of assists because you're losing a gunfight and then someone else gets it.
They did
J9 goes for the spawn peek. And it's the Americans. Fold says G's in the chat. New is also, during that halftime swap, said in the chat, how you feeling right now? I give you a clue. GK not feeling too hot.
And it's Yark, you know, once on the same side of the coin here for the Americans. He's 0-7 himself, yet to find his first kill, and this could be the final round. And he is, again, he's killless, first to die.
Oh no!
Flash goes down though, Groby finds the gap once more.
Great gap, and a great player to take down. Folds the leadership of DZ. No one was on that camera to support the clash. Oh, but Grubby gets completely swung. A very cheeky pick there from Newers. Time to go deep here for Sarks, but the smoke catches him on out. J90 spawn peek to kick things off. Now he's found another one. Good shot from Porte, but he's now low HP himself.
2v2 with 2 minutes to play. Complete chaos in the server. Ask is going back to spawn because someone left a diffuser there. I guess the guy got spawn peeked. It was Yaga. So they gotta retrieve it. He went onto the rock. Oh no.
That is a mistake.
Do not go onto that rock. Not in ranked, not in pro play. It is a death sentence. Winnable though from both sides. Mind you, NGR did suffer his first death, so that's also gone now. It's Kino and Newers playing together. Because Ask and Upor got 1 lion scan, 2 frag grenades, and a flashbang.
Just wait, sit back and relax, DZ. Let's see if GK can handle the pressure when it mounts. Good nade from Ask. As he tries to peek on through, isolate these angles, but Kino's got this ACOG from the other side. He's got the crossfire. It's a perfect shot with the TCSG. Give him the second. Why don't you? Upor low HP. And it's utter dominance from North America's Golden Boys on their quest for redemption. Heads held high. And for Europe, GK were the unlikely hero, but every fairy tale must come to an end eventually.